Hello and welcome to the Nexus Rumble. Yes, it is that time again, a Sunday night where we have a little bit of fun with a little bit of unusual teams here in the Heroes Lounge. Tonight, we have a very exciting matchup. But first, I want to introduce you to my co-caster today. It is Samu. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are you doing tonight, Samu? Are you hyped for tonight's matchups?
Doing great. Yeah, I mean, we've got a Battle of the Animals today in the lower series, as we have the Laser Sharks, as current defenders, going up against the Owl Exterminators.
Yes, these are two teams that are a little bit different because, the Laser Sharks are from Division 5 and the Owl Exterminators are from Division 6. So this is what the Nexus Rumble is all about, a little bit of inter-division rivalry to see, well, maybe the Division 6 people can stand up to these Division 5 bullies that have held on to the title for a couple of weeks now.
Already know the first map, but let's go through the map draft at all. We have the map pick from the map. The bot gave the map pick towards the side of the Owl Exterminators, so they start with the first ban and they ban out Volscav Fountain in front of Shrines. On the other side, we've got the Laser Sharks removing Tomb of Spider Queen and Dragonshire.
Yeah, so obviously some big bans here for both teams. You really sort of have to scout out your teams, and banning out Dragonshire and Tomb sort of means that you don't really like the smaller maps. So with Volskaya and Infernal being banned out, that sort of says they don't want standard rotation maps. So we've ended up on BOE, which is sort of just a really oddball map, and I'm not sure if there's any map quite like it in Heroes of the Storm. So we've got almost the teams ready now, haven't we, Samu?
Got all teams in the lobby already, so let's just wait if they give us the ready sign.
This possibly is the quickest the Nexus Rumble has ever been set up, and I commend our teams for coming and coming so quickly to join us here on this beautiful Sunday night, where we are going to have a nice bit of rumbling between these two teams.
We shall see.
Looks like both teams are ready, so let's head into the draft incredibly shortly.
I'm pressing ready, and with 30 seconds. Battlefield of Eternity, first map of today.
Yeah, so BOE, what can we expect from these two teams?
I'm finally being allowed to cast Rumble because he's not forced to play. I'm not gonna play later, but not in the Rumble.
Yeah, we're gonna have
Donnie, Midorica, Hot Sticker as well. Welcome, everybody.
We're going to have a fun little swap around today. Not just swapping around the teams in the Upper Rumble, but also swapping around the casters. And if you want to see who Food for Phobia is going to face later, you're going to have to stay tuned because it's not yet been revealed. But firstly, Laser Sharks versus Owl Exterminators here on Battlefield of Eternity. And
so in this series for now, we have on the left side in Laser Sharks, Laser Sharks bet A, and number of points one. They are going ahead in the first map. Or I think not bet number of points we will bet on the Owl Exterminators. I think Division 6 or Division 5 for the first game.
Yep, and we've already had the Li Ming banned out by the Laser Sharks, so they don't want to deal with the Owl Exterminators sort of shelling away against them like an artillery cannon that Li Ming with that old build on level 4 almost is, Simon.
Li Ming is a very annoying hero, especially against this amazing poke against Immortal and also very strong defense. So he's definitely a very strong hero for Battlefield of Eternity. But don't see on the other side, you see the banning. And also a very good hero on this side. Push it off back into the Immortal Sun. We can set it to a perfect engage or a perfect blow up. Something like this Twist Tower or something along those lines.
Yeah, and just a little insight here, the Owl Exterminators are using a substitute today. I'm not sure if they'll be using that substitute as a tank, as Deadly Kitten is sort of a tank player most of the time, or if they'll be filling in the DPS slot instead, or maybe even offlane. We're not sure. Yes, yeah, Claire W pointing out in the chat that I am all clean shaven. Yes, I'm doing Movember a little bit, so just going to grow out the moustache once again. I'm sure we'll all be happy to see that return.
Last event coming in on the one that we see very strong hero right now and happy
as well. Yeah. Gazlo has just been a menace, being picked up lots and lots recently, almost sort of oppressive in some locations, but on the other side, Imperius and Anduin. Imperius is another one of those heroes that no matter how many nerfs, it just seems like he's clinging on to that top spot of being an indomitable force of nature in the tank pool.
Yeah, he's having a lot of damage. He's having some nice speed and really good. Comparing it up with Anduin, like stronger. But now on the other side, we see the answer to it. Pulling in the Reyna and the Johanna. Reyna, of course, with some nice DPS, really forcing Imperius to look for a fight quite fast, because else Reyna is just going to shred him down. And Johanna, very stable tank in the front line, just with this iron skin, with the big health pool, it's really hard to focus her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of fairly confident in Laser Shark's draft already, actually. You know, Reyna's got a good interrupt for Imperius Q, and Gazlo and Reyna both together can do a lot of race damage on thas Immortals, as well as just zoning out. When you're defending your Immortal, Gazlo's really superb. With the bombs, with the turrets, it's really quite a good hero to pick up here on Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, next ban already coming out from the Alex, they're going to remove the Decker, so not giving the Laser Sharks this big AU to go with the Gazlo bombs, with Johanna, and a little bit of Reyna Q as well, and then pairing it up with the Decker as well. It's just really crazy the amount of games.
So they've chosen to ban out Lunara here from the Laser Sharks. And it's an interesting ban because she doesn't have a great deal of bursts to follow up on the Imperius, not like a Garrosh and a Jaina, which is another burst, taking that tank pool and just using Imperius as an offlaner here instead of the main tank. What do you think about that, Samu, as our resident offlane expert here in the Nexus Rumble?
It's a very interesting choice to make, because you see already on the other side, you see the Gaslow coming in, and Gaslow is a really scary hero to face in the offlane. You can just jump down those turrets and push in. Here's just one of those heroes kind of stuck on wave here, so he's going to have trouble defending the Gaslow if he goes here.
Oh, but a Tracer Lucio picked up, so the mobility has just skyrocketed on the side of the Laser Sharks. This is a bit of a dangerous place for our Exterminators now, you know, with all of that mobility. But do Laser Sharks have enough HP pool, or is something quite deadly and poke-worthy going to be able to do something? Like in the Alex Exterminators, could pick up a Grey Mane, do you think, Sam?
Maybe we very respected the seven of the Tracer, but no! There is something very immobile, but something we don't want to move into. It's going to be this hard hammer coming in. Where the only two tank is just so good. Very, very strong here. But we don't see much to do here. Having a caravan is strong like her. And also pairing up with the hammer. It's really hard for the blue team and for the game. They have to do it for the gate to get something else to have it. Slowly shelling them down. They have just waiting for some low health targets to kill them out.
Yeah, I really like the Sergeant Hammer pickup. You're absolutely right. And Johanna and Tracer, well, the whole team of Laser Sharks is going to struggle to really get into that Sergeant Hammer, and they're going to have to commit, maybe using a bit of Lucio speed burst. So I'm going to be putting my points with the Owl Exterminators here today by doing !bet B, and I'm going to put 300 points on it.
I'm going to go with A, because I somehow feel that the Laser Sharks will... I don't know, I'm still very unsure about the Gaslow. I'm gonna put it onto the Laser Sharks. If I don't get them, I'm happy, but I want to see some Gaslow action coming in.
Wow.
That is what we are going to see in this first map, this best of 3 series.
Yep, it's so interesting to see how the meta's developed, where we have a Sergeant Hammer and a Gaslow being picked up in the Nexus Rumble. But here we go into game number 1. And over here, for the Nexus Rumble, our contenders against our champions Laser Sharks, we have the Owl Exterminators. Yes, with Jikoku on the Jaina, Fallop on Anduin, LG the Kevin on Sergeant Hammer, Deadly Kitten on Garrosh. And over in the top lane, we have, of course, Imperius, played by Calipo Frizz.
To the left side, in the blue, we got the defenders, we got Laser Sharks, Bargui. Their soul laner will be on the Gaslow, Pluck on Tracer, Tompa Boy on Johanna, Commissar 16 on the Reyna, and Sherazade playing the Lucio.
Yeah.
Is Laser Sharks. And we already see the first thing coming in, like the blue team deciding to put 4 men towards the top side and having the Gaslow in the bottom alone. Liquid Freeze now it's a little bit catched out. It's a little bit of damage from Pluck, but a ton of damage against Tompa Boy as he gets stunned in the tower range. He drops down. very low.
Yeah, well played here by Calipo Frizz. You know, it's really interesting because with Reyna and Tracer, they have a little bit of race, but they are against a Sergeant Hammer. But Imperius lacks the clear that perhaps Gazlo can, defending in the bot lane. But you're against a Sergeant Hammer. How do you break that as a lone Gazlo, who does get thrown in by Deadly Kitten? The unstoppable medallion's used, and the push from Sergeant Hammer, I think, pushes him to safety away from the Jaina thing. Oh, I was so close. Barkway's got to be careful.
Barkway really having issues. One talent coming from the big game hunter, increasing his crap he has. And for example, for this game, I would have enjoyed to see the rocket boots. With the increased range on the bomb, you could at least somehow try to control Hammer.
Yeah, but we do see there's a Walton, and Calipo Frizz is looking lower and lower, but we see Gazlo go down almost incredibly at the same time. This is just a base race at this point. Samu, do you think they're going to go all the way to the keep?
It looks like they're at least going to take down the fort. I mean, going for the key would be something we've already seen in a few videos. Nothing too scary there. He's taking a lot of damage. He gets taken down by the fort as he overstands a little bit there on the garage.
Yep, sorry there, we did miss that, but yeah, just against no heroes here. Fighting in to the towers, you've got to be careful, and it looks like blue team are winning the race because of it. No, you do have to watch out. We see blue team going for the invade now on the Bruiser camp. This is a bold attempt, as invading this Bruiser camp can be incredibly risky, especially in the early game. Jukoko is here ready to follow up on the Imperius. He misses that, but it looks like the red team are just going to take it. It's going to be forced early though, so this is a nice play here from the blue team.
Now I have enough time to defend it and then go to take their own Bruiser camp, and you usually want to pick them up around 230 and 240, between 230 and 245. So it runs down the lane while the Immortal is spawning. The opponent has to make a choice between defending the Immortal or going for the defense of the camp. There's Hammer getting stunned there, Kevin on the run, but then getting hit by the grenade, by the pulse bomb from Pluck, but everyone is making it out alive there.
Yeah, we see a little bit of an experience sort of deficit here, just starting to cripple up, but red team are ahead because they've been soaking the extra lanes, but Gazlo is now going back to the top lane to maybe pick up some of that lost soak. The red team really need to try and push in and get this fort down, because that's going to be something that perhaps they're lacking compared. But the kill here, maybe you're going into the Lucio, and beautifully done here. Nice CC follow-up from Fallup on the Anduin.
Very well done there by the all extenders, but now we are getting close towards the 3-minute mark, and Glory City Immortals are about to spawn. The first race being done by the blue team actually. So
yeah.
Pulling down the turrets. Red team we see Hammer stalling away.
Yeah, I mean, we do see a great amount of sort of race from the blue team, and even with the Sergeant Hammer, they need to sort of be careful. I guess they're playing for the later objectives, as Sergeant Hammer is so good at defending those Immortals and then slowly making ground, not doing the immediate race that perhaps you're thinking of straight away in these early objectives where Tracer, Gazlo, and Reyna really excel.
The extended from Reyna is just such a strong tool for those Immortals. The only thing he's comparable to is the Vala with the full Q build. Very scary race against them because you're always on the down foot.
Yeah, I mean, these two teams are just facing up 2 kills to 2 right now, and with the blue team winning this Immortal, can they get the second fort of the game, as red team has yet to claim that fort that they poked down for so long in the early parts.
6-6, 2-2 in kills so far. Some of it that's good, but he's fine.
This is a big commitment here from the Laser Sharks. They've got 5-man push in the bottom. Imperius is more than happy to just sit in the top and let some catapults clear the minion XP so they can get a lead. But as the 5-man of the blue team push in, are they going to be able to do more damage to this fort than perhaps they expected? As the Immortal goes down and Topper Boy is being focused, he gets thrown back as well, and he's going to get taken out incredibly quickly. Nicely done here from Deadly Kitten on the Owl Exterminators.
They're punishing the Johanna for not having her trade at the moment and just throwing her in and abusing the armor reduction of the fort. But now we also see the red team taking down the bottom siege camp. Will probably push in and try to finally finish the fort down here on the bottom side.
Yep. And we see the red team, the blue team now going for their siege camp in the top, but they're not going to be able to defend this fort much longer here, as LG the Kevin sneaks forward in that hover siege and is able to quickly
getting caught out in the top side as he checks the camp, but now there's a Lucio and a Tracer in his face, and he's getting bombed, and there he falls, 3-3 kills as Imperius falls on the top side.
Yeah, you've got to be careful. When you know that an opponent is doing a camp, you don't need to check it. You know they're there. Don't try and stick your nose, as it only means you can get caught out. And speaking of caught out, Sergeant Hammer is very far forward here, but without Blessed Shield, Tomboy has no way to lock them down. So the blue team's rotation here is just to clear out that camp.
Yeah, it's always the thing when you play against an Illidan, you don't want to lose force because then you open up the map, but it's exactly the same with Trace and Lucio as we just saw on the top side. Imperius just has no chance of escaping the wrath of those two heroes because he has such a long way to disengage. So he's really had troubles there.
Yeah, the blue team now holding their bruiser camp, the red team just trying to complete theirs. They're going to be a little bit behind, as I think blue team are going to be taking it right about now. And there we are, there we see it, and it's going to be pushing down this bot lane. Although they are struggling with a little bit of catapult pressure every so often, they will do well into it. Lucian now.
The Iron Skin very early pull pump, you also used for more raise. Tomboy now getting thrown into the stun. There's Imperial stun as a follow up. It's goodbye to Hannah as Deadly Kitten with the throw sets it up for Clip of Wrist on the Imperius.
Yeah, no fear here from Deadly Kitten, having to walk forward now as the Immortal has spawned on the favourable side for the blue team. They're pushing forward, they get the race, the medallion used by Reyna, but the throw coming out on Charade, there's another kill from the red team. This follow-up from Jaina is really nice to see. It's how you play this Garrosh sort of composition. Big throw, big blow-up, big CC, easy kills.
And with those kills, now the red team is free to go and race on their Immortal as we see Hammer slowly hammering away on it. Not the best in terms of racing, but probably the best their team has.
Yeah, this is sort of flaws you can have with running a mage on Battlefield of Eternity. Sort of, we have the double auto attack composition coming out from the Laser Sharks, but with sort of one auto attacker, you are sort of forced to do this. And the defense coming out here now from the red team, but the blue team are just far too aggressive. They get the Immortal and they're taking the fight further and further. They're falling low on health. Tracer goes down. Clipper Frizz uses the angelic armaments to maybe get a bit of damage, but Lucio is able to negate it with the sound barrier as the red team have to sort of fall back because they've got now another Immortal to prepare to defend. And it's once again going in the bot lane as this fort has been up for quite a while, whereas the top fort has not been did not get much chance in this game.
We see the Hammer and the Garrow being sent out by the Immortal. But look at the top as Clipper Freeze is about to catch that again. Coming Thunder rotates onto him. Alone on the Reyna. He's just getting some nice damage, but Clipper Freeze is just on the run because he knows the cavalry is coming. His Tomboy and Charizard are now showing right next to compensate up here.
Yeah, Deadly Kitten may be looking for a throw over the wall as the blue team are doing the 5-man push sort of encounter to the Immortal. Bargway looking for the throw on Bargway, but gets Tomboy. The taunt coming out as well. It's into the tower ranges. Here comes the light bomb. Big light bomb hitting almost all the heroes on the blue team. The Blessed Shield comes out, stunning 3 people. Tomboy trying to pull them in. He's a bit too close. The Iron Skin having to be popped just to survive. I think blue team have to back off now.
Blue team backing up. In the meantime, in the bottom side, we saw the Immortal getting all of the forward and even nearly getting a tower on of the keep wall. Blue team now going for the top siege camp. Look, scouting out Deadly Kitten there. Dismounting him and making sure he's slow on the rotation towards the camp so his team has enough time to take it.
Yeah, we see the red team just trying to posture, trying to get their way back into this game. You know, they're not doing bad in terms of kills, but in terms of Immortals and general push, they're slowly falling behind, and it's really something that they need to be careful of and try and work out how best they can execute their competition. They need to take maybe a couple more engages a bit early, but Deadly Kitten goes in, maybe looks to get the throw on someone, looking for the backline. The Imperius comes in with a big stun, but is interrupted by Johanna. She is trying to ward people off the point, to break it down, really doing a lot to keep the survivability. And Deadly Kitten is falling lower and lower in the front line of the red team, having to pull out in the... yeah, tries to get the bomb on, but Tomboy is falling lower and lower as Hammer has just been sat there, shelling away.
Uplook is going in, getting the kill. Nice light bomb coming out there from Fellow onto Deadly Kitten, and he gets the stun onto Trace, and Tracer gets taken down 2-for-2 trade in the end here in the lower series of the next Rumble game number 1.
Yeah, these two teams are showing really a good showing for Division 5 and Division 6. Of course, our Exterminators are the Division 6 team here. They're slightly, well, I wouldn't say less experienced, but in terms of skill level, they're supposed to be a little bit lower, but they're putting up a good fight against the Laser Sharks, who, as a Division 5 team, are also showing how maybe the macro pressure's done a bit more. But Deadly Kitten going in, the stuns once again from the Imperius, and Lucio is just getting deleted as we get into these later stages of the game where damage starts to outscale a few other things.
Immortal being there as well. A stun coming in. Blue team still has the pressure of a customer camp on the bottom side of the map, so pressuring the keep slowly. Took down the tower finally as catapult as well. Chigoku now finally going towards the bottom side, making sure he's defending it. Now we see OG the Kevin on the Sergeant Hammer going for the raise. But this also means that their Immortal is now not being defended anymore, and the blue team can go back towards the raise.
Yeah, this is sort of everything that the blue team have done. They're getting every bit of race that they can against the red team Immortal, and it's proving to do a lot. But Calipophrys gets the stun on Barkweed that comes out from Sergeant Hammer. Deadlykin's trying to get the taunt in onto the Immortal stun, and there is enough throw, there's enough CC coming out, but the heroes aren't falling down just yet. The LG the Kevin is putting out so much damage on the Sergeant Hammer, but I think blue team are just going to have to retreat, and there's no kills for either team.
We still see red team's Immortal is really low in terms of HP, and Blue is again looking to try and get a little bit of damage in for it. Now the red team falls back, and this means Blue will be there to finish the first half of this Immortal phase in this game.
Yeah, we're seeing so much of this happen every single time, and I really want red team to step up and take a full team wipe on the blue team so they can get their first Immortal, but instead we see blue keeping this aggression on the Immortal, having that long range pluck, diving in and out, threatening the backline as a tracer, but also getting that crucial damage on the Immortal. And there's the throw, there's the stun once again onto Barkley on the Gaslight, but he's looking like he might survive, but maybe not this time as the taunt comes out onto him. He's falling down to 200 HP, but slowly getting healed up more and more by Gaslow. Does indeed go down in the end.
Meantime, also the Kevin got poked a little bit low by block as he came from the side, but in the meantime the red team one is dropping very low, and it goes down even, so 3 kills for the red team, but they still lose the Immortal, and it's a very healthy one this time as well. So this one will go immediately towards the top keep wall. It will probably deal some serious damage towards the keep.
Yeah, unless they can clear it up sort of quite aggressively, because Gaslow's only just respawning and the rest of the blue team have got sort of 10 to 16 seconds as well. I don't think the blue team are going to be able to put any sort of additional pressure on the side lanes or with this Immortal if red team are quick enough to clean it up.
Dude is about to be taken down, and then we'll go into melee form right now. He's in range form with the shields, and now it goes to melee form.
I don't think it's going to get any damage on the actual keep itself, but the blue team may well get all the outer structures, and they're preparing to take the camp as soon as it comes up here on the bot lane. They're going to just nuke it straight away with Gaslow, Reyna with Exterminator, and a Tracer. Just going to pop straight away. Look at how quick this is, Samu.
Wall is gone, but the keep is still full life, so no damage done towards it. Both teams taking siege camps so far.
We see level 16s coming in a little bit earlier here for the Owl Exterminators. Could this be an advantage when they get to maybe 16? Maybe they'll get to level 20 a little bit earlier. It'll be something crucial that they can really gain a foothold in this game, Samu.
Yeah, they definitely need to do something soon. Like, they're about to lose keeps with the next Immortals if they don't get any kills with it. But, like, their comp is so bad in terms of racing, which is very bad for them. As we saw it already coming out, so they really need to get those team fights, as you mentioned before. Get those 3-4 kills in, and then you have time to race and do something on your Immortal.
Yeah, they're sort of backing away. They have this Bruiser Camp still available. This is sort of the only contentious point on the map right now. And I think red team have to take it while they have level 16, because blue team are more than happy to invade, I think. Although, maybe they're not. I think Laser Sharks are smart enough to sort of say, look, we're winning the Immortals. Let's just wait for the Immortals again. Let's just keep doing that rather than taking any other team fights outside of it. But there we go. 30 seconds to go until the Immortals spawn, and red team take their Bruiser Camp.
Taking theirs now. This one will be a little bit better time, but still the blue team still have a 4 and even a 4 wall on the top side. So even if they don't defend this Bruiser Camp now, still will take some time to reach the their buildings, so the keeps and stuff. But are they already going towards the top side? Already defending it instantly. Now the red team, they're a little bit thrown off guard because they believe their opponents will try to raise and look for the raise. Oh, all prepared there. Oh, see some damage towards the Immortal.
It just shows that sort of crucial thing of timing those bruiser camps, because being able to clear it up was really crucial for them. We see the race does indeed almost go over to the blue team here, as LT the Kevin did get stunned out by the Immortal, causing a little bit of race damage. So even with defending that top camp, blue team have taken a quick advantage and they're in position to race once again. Red team really have to push in right now.
I also have to mention that Jaina shortly tried to defend bottom lane, but comments are getting thrown in. There's the light bomb onto 2 with Immortal Stun as well, make it 3 as Lucy, Reina, and Johanna go down. Plug and Bargoin are on the run. Philip Frisk gets thrown in by the kid, and Bargoin trying to escape, but he's getting body blocked now. But there's a self cleanse. There's the root though, and he's getting taken out. He gets behind the wall at least, but no, there is another Jaina house stuff Blizzard thingy coming in and taking him down. Plug is the only one surviving for the blue team. Looking at top camp so far, Shikoku on the bottom lane trying to defend the bruiser camp, but got taken down by the keep anyways.
Yeah, this is the opportunity that red team really needed. That was a beautiful fight here, using that BFG to get superb value after the light bomb stun into the Immortal stun. And that's the power of CC around the Immortal. We see them trying to maybe catch up Pluck, but Pluck is a little tracer, that gnat in Heroes of the Storm that you just can't catch. So well played here by the red team. Now this is going to be their first opportunity. They have Sergeant Hammer, who I've always said has a bit of a Sylvanas effect. Once you sort of get that objective, once you get that lead, Sergeant Hammer can really help you extend it, especially in the late game, now that she has a lot more talents to help her pushing forward.
Especially with the garage on the side of the red team, you have to throw. You can throw people into the Immortal Stun, which is not only good at those tracing the Immortal, but also now he gets onto Tompa Boy, gets him thrown in, and there he goes, throw in. Immortal with the swing, moving his shield, and Johanna is there with the final Sergeant Hammer is there with final damage onto Johanna. Secures the kill, and this will give the red team now a lot of value as they take on the forward. The Immortal is still on a little bit less than full life, and now LC the Kevin on the hammer is slowly coming towards the keep wall as they are preparing to take that one down. Yeah, we talked about this in the draft. The blue team are going to have any sort of trouble engaging, especially without Johanna, and Blessed Shield is not quite enough really as well, so they're trying really hard here to defend, but LT the Kevin is putting on so much pressure, and I think red team might stick around to maybe try and get this keep as well. They have a minion wave coming in, and blue team just don't have the resources to be able to defend something like this. Dedican does get the throw onto Bargwe. They're trying to follow up the stun, but not quite quick enough. Here comes the stun from Imperius. The damage comes out, and Calippo Frizz is trying so desperately to push in, but a little bit of miscommunication here as they're not quite focusing all the same heroes nor the keep, so they're not able to dive deep. But now they finish up the keep and are able to walk away happy that they've got the first keep in the game and level 20. Even though they did not manage to get a kill there, they still brought them very low, so the blue team was not able to step up into the hammer range to defend her and stop her from taking down the keep. Well done by the red team, coming back a little bit into the game, taking on the first keep of the game. Yeah, Anduin here has gone in for Desperate Prayer on level 20. So it's not a talent you usually see, as you usually see sort of the double cleanse, the double leap of faith, which does do so much when you have to use it. But Anduin's not had to use it much in this game. So he's gone for the Desperate Prayer, which is going to help a great deal against those Tracer bombs and healing up those crucial targets that maybe Tracer is going for. So a nice adaptation here from our Anduin player. On this side of Hammer, we don't see the attack speed coming in, which usually makes a really scary teamfight machine. Instead, we see the orbital BFG coming in and throwing it down on the top side, so making sure to always clear those minion waves with the orbital BFG, so the core is immediately pressured by some catapults. Yeah, it does so much, just almost immediately wipes the whole lane, and that catapult pressure is just going to add up as they're in every wave right now due to the keep being down. Really nice play here from the Sergeant Hammer player. Of course, they've got it up in 10 seconds, which they'll use to sort of do any big combo they have to try and delete the blue team, but it's putting on that extra hard pressure in the off lane. Really nicely done here from our Exterminators. I see the Immortal being already raced down towards the first half time. The red team just has the freedom to do it because they are level 20 already, so they have the storm talents, which will give them a big advantage over their opponents.
Yeah, and they do have this excess pressure on the top. They could just retreat and defend, but no, we see them on the blue Immortal. Sergeant Hammer trying desperately, but with a light bomb here on the background, Tracer is indeed going to get blown up, and with Tompa Boy also going in, they're trying to get some sort of return kill. The Leap of Faith done to pull Jikoku out. Calippo Frizz is going in and further in, but no more follow-up just yet. The Blizzard does indeed miss, and the Immortal stunning people around. People are falling very, very low. Deadly Kitten is falling low and low, but the light bomb is there to help stun, and with the BFG, there's a lot of damage coming out. Blue team is falling lower and lower. Can anyone get picked off? But no, Garrosh is the first one to go down. Barkley looks like he might be the second, but he's got a shield, but he does get stunned by Imperius. They do fall down, but Imperius is now deep in the enemy team, Samu.
Calippo Frizz about to be taken down. There he goes, Tompa Boy. No, he dodges the rocket, but still 2 for 2 in terms of kills. No one getting any favor out of this, but we now see on the blue side, we see Level 20 being picked up by them with those kills. We're now coming in and trying to finish the race, apparently.
Yeah, so 2 for 2. That's a really crucial hit for the blue team. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get this Immortal straight away, because LG the Kevin will come in on that Sergeant Hammer. But with the flank from Reina coming in here, Jikoku's in a bit of trouble with the Blessed Shield now, pushing him down and down, and the Ice Block is going to save them for a couple more seconds, but I think they are indeed going to fall. Tompa Boy is falling lower and lower, but the blue team just taking a little bit of advantage here. That bit of experience from a Division 5 team showing here from the Laser Sharks.
Bogner coming in, looking at Kevin on the hammer. Also nice damage, but there's a nice knockback and a big heal coming in. Up to make sure Sergeant Hammer stays alive. Meantime, we have 2 catapults on the top, hammering on the core, but Bargo just respawn. We'll take care of that on the gas lab.
Yep, you do have to be careful. All of this pressure in the back lane, but we see the blue team here trying to surprise the red team, but Deadly Kitten was there, is more than ready for it, and they are indeed going to take out this Immortal anytime soon. It's got 83 HP left on it, 0 now. The red team get another Immortal, and if they can get out safely, this could be a good pressure for them to get a second keep, or possibly the game. Oh, big throw here from Deadly Kitten, and a lot of damage coming out from Imperius, and Lucio is the next to go down. Commissar 16 is going to fall as well with the Tracer. Additionally, that is fantastic news for the Owl Exterminators.
I don't want to say that the BFG in the meantime raised the Immortal while the blue team tried to raise, and everyone from the red team was dead.
Looks like the red team making a core call here.
Going for core, so splitting up their resources, whereas only Hannah and Gessler will be there to try and defend them. They're not gonna have a fun time against the hammer.
Yeah, but Gaslight's doing a lot of work with the stuns. There's a lot of damage coming out here. Here is the grab bomb, and it gets 2 of them. 2 people fall lower and lower. LG Kevin also falling low. Deadly Kitten is on 300 HP, but with a big heal, does get back to safety. That value on Tompa Boy is falling as well, and this looks like it could well be game, Samu.
With China and the Gaslow falling, GG's has been called in the chat. Core is about to go down. The hammer is just shelling away on it. It will be GG as the first game goes over. Will go over towards the Owl Exterminators in the red as the contenders.
Yeah, our contender team, the challengers, they are looking to take on this incredible team of the Laser Sharks. Really well done to them. You've got to give it to them. They've done so well to get back into that game. They are falling further and further behind, but it sort of goes to show that you're never out, especially when you have a hero like Sergeant Hammer. Here's all the talents if you really want to. We do see the kills, so many more kills from the red team, and I think it doesn't show how hard blue team played in that game, but they did do so well. So we'll have to see what happens in game number 2, as obviously Laser Sharks now get to choose if they want map pick or if they want, of course, the other thing, which is first pick.
Yeah, I mean the blue team, even though they got the first 3 Immortals, they never really looks that great in terms of team fighting. Like, they just had the better comp for the Immortal race. In another game, you maybe raise them better and don't die there in such bad situation, then you win the game already 5 minutes earlier. But we now see on the side of the Laser Sharks, we see the map choice, and they will bring us towards Braxis Holdout.
Yeah, Braxis Holdout, and that's an interesting map for sure. You know, Braxis Holdout, one of those maps is very unusual as well. Another 2-lane map to be noted. But in this case, you know, it's a lot more pressure on that solo lane, and that solo lane has to have a lot of sustain. So Imperia's not always the best pick in this situation. So, what can we do in this situation? People are telling me that you're a mega low, and that's a little bit unusual. That's not quite what it's like.
It's mega low compared to your trends. Hat! Welcome, Hat!
So, here we go into game number 2. Yes, Braxis holdout. I'd like to see a Rexar here, maybe. Or maybe we could think about, Akira? That would be spicy indeed. You're an offlaner. Any favourite offlaners for Braxis holdout?
I hate Braxis holdout. But in general, I would say you would always kind of want Rexar. And ban stuff out like the Deathwing, which are countering the Rexar. Because even though Rex is like really good in terms of holding the point and clearing waves while doing so, he's still having issues against certain heroes. For example, the Diva right now is one of the best counters to him because she can just boost up into his face and really bully him away from the lane while also winning a 1-on-1 against Misha on the points. Rex has to be really careful and try to micromanage it very well against a Diva, especially on level 10 when Diva gets her slowing missiles. Rexa is going to have a big troubles against her. Or same goes for Deathwing, for example. He's just not caring about either of those. He just sends them presses W, just heals himself up, and after level 4 with the flames around him, he just deals so much damage. Misha cannot tank this away. It's going to be very interesting to see on the offlane. Also, like, one thing I personally don't really like that much on this map often is that you kind of in the back foot if you have the first pick, which is usually the better one, because if you have second pick, you get the very last pick in the draft, which makes you able to hold your offlaner for the very last pick and then counter your opponent's offlaner.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I think that's why a lot of people like it as a map in the map pool. It sort of turns that advantage round that perhaps you get as first pick. It does mean that it can be a little bit cheesy as well. I'm sure we'll see a lot of priority on mages here as well, which we didn't see come out from Laser Sharks, but I'm sure they've got a Gul'dan or a Kel'Thas somewhere around in their draft. So we'll have to wait and see if these teams are going to, what they're going to pick and how they're going to feel as we perhaps go into the draft for game number 2.
Teams are ready, so let's jump into game number 2, Braxis holdout.
Yeah, Braxis holdout. As we've already talked, a high priority on the solo lane, which means you might want to pick it up early and then ban out the counter, or maybe ban out the counter in the first rotations and first pick it. Or you could just leave it and have a really strong 4-man that you expect to bully your opponents with. Sergeant Hammer could once yet again appear, could it not, Samu?
Yeah, it definitely could, as it is one of the maps where she's really annoying to deal with, because she just stands on the bottom and always shells away, so you're not allowed to focus too much into other things, because else your wall is gone, and then at some point your fort is gone. And always betting is set up against exclamation mark bet A. We think Laser Sharks will come back into the series and bring us towards map number 3, or exclamation mark bet B if you think all exceptions will finish it in a quick 2-0.
Yeah, you really have to think, what are they going to go for? And they've banned out the ETC once again, so it could be that they're looking for that Garrosh, which can be incredibly impactful on a map like Braxis holdout.
First ban is going to be the ETC. It's a very strong tank. We saw it before being picked up. We saw before Garrosh being picked up on the side of the Alexem. It's already banning out the ETC, one of the tanks who is kind of good against him. We immediately see the reaction from the Laser Sharks removing Garrosh, but this leaves so far Diva and Gaslow still left out in this draft.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes available. So what could we also have? I mean, the mages are still available. We still have that Chromie if people want to go for the poke, or that Kel'Thas with the beautiful clear, maybe even the Gul'dan Oriole, something like that. Mephisto, though, is going to be their ban of choice. I think that might be a little bit of a target ban against some of the heroes that Laser Sharks play.
Yeah, Mephisto is one of those mages who is very strong in those brawl situations, so it's also usually a very good pick for Skyfighter. Braxis holdout is the same. You have those foremen in the bottom which tend to brawl quite a lot. With Mephisto being there with the current action on the stalls, he's really annoying to deal with. And you really have to dodge stuff, else he will just get resets on resets on resets and will just slowly. Next ban is simply nothing.
Yeah, it looks like it's
Alright, it's going to be a hammer ban. They just wrote in the chat.
Sergeant Hammer ban. So a bit of a respect here from the Alex Terminators, as they're going to sort of say, you know what, you meant to ban Sergeant Hammer, we're going to give you that. So I think that's a sensible thing here for the blue team to have banned.
This leaves Gaslow and Devo open so in terms of zone, but also for the foreman, you still have the Chrome in, which is a very high priority kick in those poke scenarios. But you see, as the first pick from the side of Alexon is the Lord of Terror coming in, Deadly Kitten picking up Diablo, as two tanks already being banned out, which are kind of good against Diablo, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, Diablo is a bit of an interesting pick for Braxis Holdout, as there's not a great deal you can do around the point always, but there's a couple of walls. But Johanna, once again, being picked up by the Laser Sharks. A nice and standard, steady pick for them here. Mixed in with a Cassia, that's some extra blind damage, is it not?
Ah, especially with the Cassia, yeah, she's a blind, but you have the double blind, so about double crits. But in general, Cassia is just such a strong hero. In terms of, you really have to lock her down, and you already see on the other side the first things coming in to lock her down, and with the Deckard being picked up now by Follow. Having a route to lock Cassia down really makes her stand still and lose her armor, which will be very crucial for her and for her survivability.
Yeah, and if they can follow up those routes with maybe a Diablo combo with the Apocalypse, or maybe just some Tassadar damage with that big zappy laser cannon that he has, yeah, it could well be something to watch out for if you're Cassia, as you do have a little bit of a lacking HP. But we see Gaslow banned out here by the blue team. They've got the next pick, so it's a bit surprising to see them ban out Gaslow, as I might have expected red team to have banned it out instead.
I kind of see the Gaslow ban, to be fair. As we see so far from the side of Alex, we see a big wombo combo setting up with the Decker Sleep, Diablo, Apoc, and Tesla there, just with tons of damage, and possibly even a black hole coming in. Keep in mind that also still exists. And some people even play it. I picked it up lately myself a little bit. From the side of the Alex, and we now see the ban against Lucio, already removing him. Which is very interesting, is we see the Diablo on their side, who is a very good counter against Lucio usually, because Lucio tends to stand near walls.
Wow. And
Diablo loves people who tend to stand near walls.
That's the case on some maps, but on a map like Braxis Holdout, Lucio can actually position really well against Diablo. You're quite often on walls that he can't slam you against, and he can just give additional movement speed to other people so they're not near those walls for longer, sort of denying the opportunity that Diablo has. So I've always liked Lucio against Diablo on this map. That's just a little secret insider support knowledge there for you. Might not be true, but Genji coming out, that's a big pick that we've forgotten about here on Braxis Holdout.
Genji a really strong pick, as Genji's always very fast in those rotations, so you have to be really scary on the offlane when you go up against the Genji. And with the Phoenix being picked up, we see,
it is indeed Oriole. Hang on. They've already got a Brightwing. This means it's double support. Notably known as sort of being incredibly OP, but I'm not quite sure if this sort of fits. Does this mean it's Brightwing off lane, Sammy?
Will this be a 2-3 split? Because like back in the days, you sometimes played along the lines of Vala and the old Tassada on the top side of, because you just have so much poke and so much range damage, and you had something in the form which you cannot push in. Have this one isolated target on the top side of the map. You instead have two people top side, three in the bottom.
Yeah,
not that easy to gang. And I would assume it's going to be Brightwing, maybe with Cassia or Oriel Cassia, I would assume.
Yeah, it possibly could be the Cassia. We saw Bargui play in the offlane in the last game, but here on Braxis Holdout, I'm not sure. Bargui's going to be needed for the defense, and you want to sort of combo it with that Johanna. I imagine Phoenix might be in the offlane. Phoenix sort of can indeed be there, and against Varian, it might not be a bad choice. So we'll have to wait and see as we go into game number 2, Samu.
Until level 13, Varian will not be good against Phoenix.
No, indeed not. We do have, of course, here on the blue team, we have Bargui on the Cassia, we have Tompa Boy on Johanna, we have Schoenzaid on Brightwing, and Commissar 16 on Oriole, and Pluck on Phoenix.
And to the right side, we've got the contenders. We've got the Alex Terminus, Jigoku on the Tassada, Deadly Kitten on Diablo, Deckard being played by Falop, LG the Kevin on the Genji, and last but not least, Calippo Fritz on the Varian.
Yep, indeed it is. Up here on the top lane, having to defend against what it is indeed a 2-3 split with Commissar 16 and Pluck trying to find their luck of maybe trying to get a little bit of additional push like they did in game number 1.
But on the bottom side, we now see the Cassia with Thunderstruck on number 1, so she really likes to brawl a lot, get her stacks up and deal incredible amounts of damage in the later stages of the game. We have on the top side already wave clear from the blue team, and they're now going in to push in for the first tower.
Yeah, we see Bargwe falling lower and lower, and you know, LG the Kevin is trying to do their best. It does get stunned out here, and he's going to fall lower and lower, but is able to get away as Bargwe also jumping away with just 100 HP. For those just joining us, this is the Nexus Rumble. Here is Lounge Nexus Rumble. It is a King of the Hill sort of, yes, a little bit for fun tournament, but also for glory. And we see the Varian taken out here on the top lane. So the winner of this match would stay on. And currently, we have the Out Exterminators ahead 1-0, and LG the Kevin is trying to find an opportunity to kill Pluck, but not so lucky this time.
In the meantime, we have on the bottom side, the red team. The Out Exterminator is going for the Bruiser Camp early on, making sure to get those Lampage and try and go for the point afterwards. Now with Kevin on the top side dealing some massive damage against Pluck. Will he get the kill?
Looks like Pluck is...
teleport.
And that's going to keep them alive. But this does mean that in the bot lane, they're down to 2 against 3, which has given an opportunity for red team to take the Bruiser Camp. Nicely done. And Deadlykin is just stalling out this point by himself, but he's falling lower and lower. And Cassia is going to be putting on that pressure. But Deadly Kitten using that level 1 talent to keep him alive. Feast or Fear, getting a little bit of value here on Brax's holdout.
Now, Teledra and Decker are here to step up. So is Sherazade coming in from the top and rotated Tompa Boy, taking quite a little bit of damage. That's Decker root. Blocked by the Iron Skin, and Bargo now getting in with the damage onto that kitten who gets polymorphed. Jigoku now getting in a little bit of poke. Another laser coming in from this side, but the red team has to fall back as Deadly Kitten is just dropping low on the front line.
Yeah, LG the Kevin is putting pressure on Commissar 16, but he's going to have a heal very shortly, and LG the Kevin has no way to escape. Pluck does indeed take him out. Nicely done here for the blue team. So red team get a couple bits of percentage, but the blue team really, they just want to stall out this objective until level 10 if they're going to lose it. Or they just want to take the big win, as I believe Phoenix is most likely going to take that Planet Cracker. Do you not think, Samu?
It's definitely a possibility to see it being picked up here in the solo lane, just for the defense of the third wave, because it does quite some damage still. In the meantime, we see level 4 coming in for a red team, and we see Varian picking up his ultimate. It's going to be the Twin Blade on his side. Now getting engaged on by Pluck, and Commissar taking quite some damage, has to pop the deflect, now using his ninja skills to get out of there.
Yeah, LG the Kevin is finding it harder and harder to get value on this Genji right now, and Calippo Frizz just doesn't quite have the wave clear he needs, as he has gone into Twin Blades, we found. So maybe looking to delete this Phoenix with that shield shattering at level 13.
Meantime, Deadly Kitten on the bottom point dropping lower and lower, as he has to step away and have to give the point. But Jigoku is still from the left, from the side, trying to poke in a little bit. Has to fall back now as well, getting good damage in, but the first beacon progress goes over towards the blue team. Question is, will we see a repeatance of the first game where the blue team manages to get the early game objectives but will lose hard in the late game, or will they stay consistent and will keep on winning in the later stages of the game as well?
Yeah, we have a little bit of a big push coming in on the bottom with only 12% of the Zerg left in the top lane. That's going to be quickly cleaned up. And Tassadars doesn't quite have the wave clear all by themselves, especially with Genji as the second assassin on our Exterminators. Can blue team get a cheeky fort this early in the game, Samu?
It did in the last game, so why not again? It does not look too good for them, as Jigoku is still, even though he's not the best in terms of clearing it, he's still very strong. He's very with the static charge on level 1, already up to 90 bonus damage. Does a lot of damage. But in the top side, in the meantime, with Commissar and Pluck starting to push in forward at fort here.
Yeah, they're really trying so hard to get this pressure against this Varian, who doesn't have the wave clear. I talked about it earlier, I'm talking about it again. Twin Blade Varian is not the wave clear king, and so he's going to struggle as we get further and further into this game. And possibly, especially at level 10, when there's going to be some CC abilities, and even against Polymorph, it's going to be quite hard as a Varian.
Yeah, but you always have to keep in mind there's also the Genji on the team and the Diablo, and you can only polymorph one of those three, and not all three at the same time. You definitely have to look out if you're the one who gets polymorphed, but if you're not getting polymorphed, you have some freedom. Maybe try and do something. Kevin now going in for the siege camp, scouting it out. Those
Yep. Kevin has, though, used all his mobility actions, and Deadly Kitten is going in for the engage, with Kevin in the backline still trying to get as much damage. They do steal the siege camp, but blue team are here for the fight. Caliper Frizz is going in hard on the Phoenix and the Oriole, and with Brightwing getting taken out by the Genji now. They're just going further and further. Johanna gets taken out as well, but Clipper Frizz is going to be taken out as the damage from the blue team is just too much, but Pluck is falling also incredibly low, and Bargwe is now certainly caught out. Red team are just going to finish him off nice and quickly very soon.
well done there by the red team, going 3-1 in this fight, tying up the kills so far, 3-3 in kills. Them a little bit back into the game, at least for now. But they also have to defend the top lane soon, as there's still a Bruiser Camp running down the lane and hitting the fort now.
Yeah, we do see Genji taking a little bit of damage just to get that deflect value, as on level 7 he's going to look to get those resets, because at any opportunity in the late game a Genji composition can threaten a boss, which is going to be so important here for the red team. But they're just clearing up this top camp themselves. They're getting their own bruiser camp, and meanwhile blue team just don't have really anything to do on the map apart from maybe soak the lanes and try and get a little bit of beacon percentage as they spawn.
Now we saw in the top side a little thing which makes Phoenix such a strong hero in the off lane. He just traded with Varian. Varian lost like 20% of his health pool. Well, Pluck only lost his shield as Phoenix. So just stepped back a little bit and waited until his shield was back, and it was fine.
Yeah, we see the red team now able to stall this objective, cutting off at 42%. The meaning of life, the universe, and everything, and the amount of percentage that Laser Sharks have for this objective. As they push in with this bottom camp, Genji's still in the top as this 2-3 rotation, 2-3 split on the lanes is going to be so important as they try a little bit of damage here. Now with level 10, they can pop this Archon at any moment. A big root coming out from Decker Kane. Will Decker Kane look to follow up? No, not just quite yet. And the red team are just happy poking away, maybe getting a fort. Meanwhile, Varian falls in the top lane.
Genji drops very low and has to harp back now as well, so the blue team is actually able to push in or even rotate towards the bottom side, try and push it into their favor. But we see a little bit of damage onto the blue keep because of the red team pushed in with a camp.
Yeah, we have indeed seen the purification salvo on Phoenix instead, so no Planet Cracker to clean up the objective, so they are confident in their ability to keep this beacon and get their own pressure. As Barkley goes in, tries to get the blinds onto Tassadar falling low and low. The Stellar One Little comes out, as well as the Apocalypse, a lot of suns, as well as the Archon now pushing further and further forward. Phoenix goes down in the top lane to the Genji and the Varian, but the fight's still here in the bottom, and Bargui is indeed taken out by Jikoku with this Archon. Beautiful stuff here by the red team. They're taking the kills once again in this fight, and Clipper Frizz is taking them out, and well, Kevin almost getting focused by the minions there, but has a deflect. Nicely done here by the red team.
We saw in the top lane was that Kevin dropped very low on the Genji, but then popped the Dragon Blade, deflected the one shot from Phoenix, and finished him off with the first swipe of Dragon Blade, then escaped with 10 HP. And Clipper Frizz was able to slow down the Oriole from running away and take her down. With those kills now, the red team is getting some beacon progress, getting 54% so far in their favor. And keep in mind, on the blue team, we don't really have any very strong clear against it. Bargo getting engaged on here in the bottom side. The root misses. Brightwing Teleport is coming out for him. Commissar is joining here as well. You see a 4v3 coming in.
The whip from Oriole keeping Dedicated in place. Now polymorphed as well. The damage is coming out with the bouncing ball as well. Falling forward and forward. But a Phoenix Genji trade in the top lane means the Varian gets the top back, and the percentage is going up just briefly. But blue team now a bit of control of the bot lane. They need to think about what they're going to do at the top, especially as they got the double support here. Maybe they want to rotate Brightwing up instead of the Oriole. Or will they keep the Oriole up there just as a little bit of additional wave clear? They need to make a decision soon, as there's a camp pushing on the top and a Twin Blades Variant. It's going to not do no damage, that's for sure.
Genji in the top side, they're dived behind their forward and got the kill onto the Phoenix. Did barely not manage to get out of there. But now we see level 13 coming in, which gives Varian the Shattering Throw, which makes him a very scary force against the Phoenix on the top side.
Yeah, and Varian's just completed that level 1's quest. Oh, but here, the beautiful engage here from Diablo. Yes, we see Commissar 16 getting stunned, getting there. The sleep does come out, but doesn't quite hit. Commissar 16 falling lower and lower, and Jikoku takes them out with the help of the Genji. Sherazada's falling lower as well, and Genji's trying the best with the Dragon Blade. Brightwing does go down to the Ruby in the back line, and it's going to be a 4-man team wipe here for the red team. Beautiful stuff here by the Owl Exterminators.
This means they can now pick up the objective, which will probably go into their hand now, and this will run on the bottom lane. On the bottom lane, the fort has already been taken down. They're not looking at the boss, which is not the ideal play, I believe, because this boss will go towards the top side of the map.
Yep,
whereas the siege camp would run with the bottom, on the bottom side with the Surok Wave, which could possibly already end the game.
Yeah, it does put a big pressure on the top lane though, so maybe they're just thinking, you know, we've got enough, we'll just won't be too greedy, maybe we'll take this boss just to take it off the map for the time being. But a gargantuan Zergwave here in the bot lane, quickly cleaning up the XP, and only level 13 just arriving for the blue team for their defense, as they're going to form a 5-man defense, while the red team only have 4 men, as they've sent Varian back to defend that 33% Zergwave, which could do some damage.
Surok in the bottom, now pushing in, taking on the first tower, taking on the wall, and the second tower is about to fall as well. They're now looking at the keep. Thunderbolt with a big condemn coming in. There's the Ancient Blessings pop from Fellow. Plug has to teleport out. The Crystal League is used as well for cover, so Kevin goes in, tries to get the kill, does not get it, needs to use the deflect, jumps out with his natural agility, and now Plug getting some nice damage on that kitten, but you have to defend those Guardians as well, which are still flying in the background, and now they have been taken down. This will give a little bit of damage towards the keep, but we still have in the top side the boss running down, taking down the front wall of the keep.
Yep, we do indeed. That boss managed to take out an unhealthy fort and a additional tower, but a bit of a trade here of camps. We see the red team split, but they will surely scan out this top bruiser camp. But the rest of the blue team up here, LD the Kevin has to be careful, as it's just a polymorph and a whip away from perhaps being taken out by the blue team. But no.
Also Blessed Shield.
And Blessed Shield as well. There is enough CC to kill this Genji for sure, but they just need to focus.
Obviously, the camp's now taken by the red team, which gives them a big lead, especially on the bottom side of the map, as they're now able to pick up their bruiser camp as well down there. The blue team definitely stays on the bottom side for now to defend the halberds first, then going for the bruiser camp to defend it.
Yeah, and we see the red team just able to clean up these camps, and the blue team will have to do the same in the bot lane. A little bit of a pause moment, but with level 16 here for the red team, you know, they just need to be a little bit careful. Maybe thinking, oh, how can we get here deeper? How can we get some value out of this level 16? And they're going to use it to take out the top tower on this top lane, and maybe they'll try and get a little bit extra, as they do indeed have all their heroics available, and their medallions are going to be up fairly soon as well.
Even if they only stay around now on the top side and threat the keep, it still gives them a lot of follow, because they still have on the bottom one bruiser camp running in on Terangoliov. He's not too strong, but he still helps a little bit with clearing the waves. And there's also Catapult now coming in, looking at the bottom keep.
Yeah, we do see them now pushing in a little bit harder, trying to get that threatening value. This level 16 advantage is going to do something for them. They have that final cut from Genji, which can provide extra damage that they do so desperately need for some of these kills. Varian tries to get the kill onto the Phoenix, but no, not able to. Here comes the precision salvo. A lot of damage coming out, even with the level deficit. No 16, but the sleep into the Apocalypse is just too much damage. Johanna is the next to fall, as we see the Varian with the shield breaker just doing so much damage with the Genji. This is really nice play here from the Owl Exterminators, and they're going to exterminate this Brightwing as well, as we see a 4-man team wipe here for the red team.
If there's 4 kills, they're not going to definitely take down this game, but will they look at the core as well? 17 seconds onto the Phoenix, 20 on Aurel, 17 on Johanna. Looking at the now.
They need to be careful, they're not fully healthy, and Cassia is one of those heroes that could indeed perform a team wipe if played correctly, but there's a lot of CC going out to Bagui, and he is going to fall down. It's just too much damage from the red team. They've managed to get the shields down, and Phoenix is back up, but with, as I say, with the shattering throw, this Varian is just melting that Phoenix. He's in so much danger, but 26% done, a little bit more now, 28, but the red team have to back out.
I mean, was a little bit of greedy for them to go for the corner, but only losing the Genji, they should be able to take at least one of the beacons and hold that one.
Yeah, Genji's going to be up in 20 seconds. The blue team need to use this opportunity. They've now picked up level 16. What can they use? They have criticized now from the Brightwing, as well as an additional bit of attack speed for the Phoenix under that crown of Oriole. So, vital talents here for the blue team. Maybe they can use it. Maybe they can get a little bit of pressure back at the enemies here on Braxis Holder in the Nexus Rumble. Lower series for Heroes Lounge.
Now, Genji respawn and will join up with his team. It's the same talent, so the blue team really wants this fight. Joins there, Blast Shield onto the Variant. There's the Root coming in, China taking quite a lot of damage, has to pop the Iron Chicken. Salvo coming in, but there's the APOC as well. Does not hit anyone. Kevin now going in. Will use the Dragon Blade in a second. But no, there's the Crystal Aegis onto the caster. She does not enough. She goes down, Aura goes down as well. Make it 4, make it 5 as a 5-man team wipe from the red team.
Oh.
Kevin?
Kevin trying so boldly to get a bit of boss damage in here, but look at the top lane here. There's catapults already on there. There's a camp as well. That does reduce the armor of the core as well. And so this is just going to get shredded. With Joku here to support it as well. This is going to be a 2-0 to the Hourly Exterminators, our new Nexus Rumble champions. GG, well played to them.
GG, a quick 2-0 coming in from the Owl Exterminators.
Yeah, and what a game it is, Samu. You know, that was pretty damn good from the Owl Exterminators. I didn't quite expect them to do that because, of course, they were the Division 6 side here on Braxis Holt. Well, in the Nexus Rumble, you know, it's all about inter-division fun, a little bit of, you know, seeing who can win. Division 6 team winning over Division 5. It's really nice to see as we especially go into our cup stage in the main season just coming up soon. Samu,
keep in mind, next Sunday will be the draw show for those cups.
Yes, I was just about to prompt you for that, and you're there ready. The draw show from Heroes Lounge. I believe it's at a certain time. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but unfortunately I can't.
20 set.
20 Central European time. We have the draw show. So if you want to see who's going to go up against the Owl Exterminators or maybe even the Laser Sharks, if they make it to the playoffs, you'll have to tune in next week here on Heroes of the Storm, Heroes Lounge. But this is not all we have for you tonight, is it, in terms of games, Samu?
No, we have another one coming up now. Another one.
Yeah.
Bites the dust.
But I will be swapping casters. So after that beautiful series with the Laser Sharks and the Owl Exterminators was fantastic to watch, but do not go anywhere as we will have a series where Foodphobius will be taking on the Kitty Cat Crusaders, a team where they've been having a little bit of a rivalry in scrims, and I'm sure both teams want to prove themselves in the Nexus Rumble Upper Series. So I'm
really going to be interested into how this will play out, as I subbed for Foodphobius last week. It was a really close matchup against Complex, but Complex is also like #1 spot in Division 2 right now. And Foodphobius is up at the 4th or 3rd.
Yeah.
And Kitty Cat Crusaders are also around that, so it's going to be a really interesting matchup tonight to see who is going to go ahead of those two.
Yep, these are two top teams indeed. So don't go anywhere as we head into a small break. Until next time, I will see you shortly. Thank you very much, Sammy, for casting, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Don't go anywhere.
Bye.
Hello, and we are back. Thank you very much for bearing with us as we had a little bit of a swap around of casters. Please welcome DK, who's over here. Thank you very much, DK, for joining me here in the second half for the Nexus Rumble Upper Series. Are you excited to see these two teams?
I am very excited. These two teams, Food for Phrobius and Kitty Cat Crusaders, are both at the top of Div 2, and it's going to be such a good match, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, these have, I mean, I've heard they've been scrimming recently, and it's sort of been even Stevens in scrims. So what they're going to bring out in the Nexus Rumble, I cannot wait. Of course, Food for Phrobius are using a substitute, I believe, today. I think they've got Sonic, who they used earlier in their match against Super Unstopper Bros, but I don't think that's going to dissuade them, as they're sort of very similar in playstyle, Jam and Sonic. So Kitty Cat Crusaders better be scared, as Food for Phrobius have been top of the Nexus Rumble for quite some time. DK, have you been tuning in for the Nexus Rumble quite often?
Of course I have. I've been a loyal watcher since day one, since you forced me to.
Well, DK, we don't force anyone to do anything here on Heroes Lounge apart from, you to watch the Nexus Rumble. It's true. I request it so often. Hopefully, we're going to get a couple of teams soon. I don't think anyone quite expected the first series to end so abruptly and quickly. You know, these two teams, it was such a good series between Owl Exterminators and the Laser Sharks. I'm really happy to say that it was good to see the Owl Exterminators take Laser Sharks down. A Division 16 beating a Division 5. It's good to see, is it not?
Yeah, it definitely is. Getting some of that interdivision rivalry going. That's something Hero Century needs, I think.
Yeah,
I really like it.
You know, it's really nice, and with this brand new sort of format we have here in the Nexus Rumble, it allows for that to happen. And if you want to take on the Owl Exterminators in a couple of weeks, maybe, as I think with the draw show next week, we're going to have a little bit of an exception with the lower Rumble. Just apply your name as you can do !Rumble in the chat, or !Rumble sign up for the direct sign up for. But we're going to be hoping to get into our series fairly soon, as they've done the match command, and the Kitty Cat Crusaders against Food for Phrobius is going to follow here with the map bans. What are you expecting perhaps from these teams? Do you know that Food for Phrobius might be doing a certain map ban straight away?
I know the Food for Phrobius team pretty well, so I'm kind of an expert in that area, if you didn't get. But their map bans, I have absolutely no clue. I think they don't like Volskaya Foundry.
Yeah, they do not like.
Besides that, I'm clueless. I'm just here to enjoy your talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say that Volskaya Foundry is going to be almost a certain for the map bans, but they have yet to do it, as I think On Unite is just sort of still waiting a little bit, as they might still be in game. They weren't quite expecting to play so soon. You know, the Alex just did so well. But
yeah, very strong series by them. But it is indeed true that the Food for Phrobius team, they like their macro maps. They like Cursed Hollow, they like Sky Temple, Infernal Shrines, things where they can outplay their opponent, not just in team fights.
Yep, and we see these bans coming out here. The Cursed Hollow being banned out by Kitty Cat Crusaders. As you said, that big macro maps of Volskaya banned straight away. Also, by of course, the Food for Phrobius. These big macro maps. What makes Food for Phrobius so strong on these macro maps?
I think their game sense and their ability to react to whatever the opponent is doing is so strong with their Shock Collar. Fiziev, who is kind of a Medieval TP, so we'll probably see that banned out. But his game knowledge is out of this world. Yeah, and he's doing so well for them. Finally having him back is going to be really good for Food for Phrobius.
Yeah, and it's that sort of medieval play. That Falstad as well is something that you have to watch out for against Food for Phrobius. So with them also having Dragonshire banned out against them by Kitty Cat Crusaders, it really shows that these maps where Falstad can be impactful is something that they need to look out for.
Yep, another big macro map. Food for Phrobius is doing super well on that, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and Braxis Holdout being banned out by Food for Phrobius. So, that once again, a sort of smaller map where you can't really use that Falstad to that greatest advantage that perhaps you might have wanted to. So that was sort of true because, you know, Braxis and Volskaya has a big 4-man part where you're doing a lot of brawling in the early game, a lot of sort of facing off, and I think that sort of shows that Frobius don't want to brawl. They want to do those big rotations. Hat's so good at bringing down that offlane, as we've seen time and time again in the Nexus Rumble. So I wonder what Kitty Cat Crusaders might choose to go here as their game number 1.
Yeah, you're definitely right there. What I expect from Kitty Cat Crusaders is a small map where you fight a lot. So something like a Battlefield of Eternity or something, or Towers of Doom. It's usually the solo laner that holds the middle and the top, and then there's a 4v4 going down in the bot lane. But that is not what we're going to see. We're going to see Infernal.
Infernal Shrines. Yes, it's going to be fantastic. Infernal Shrines is such a classic map for the Heroes Lounge, of course. It's the most popular map by far, by a long way. I think last season we checked the stats and it was sort of like 60 games ahead of any other map.
60 games?
Yes, yeah. It was incredible, the map stats. Quite unreal for sure. Yeah, it's really good. And Towers of Doom being a close second, and sort of the rest a little bit bunched up. And there's a couple of outliers at the bottom, like Braxis Holdout, like Sky Temple. Those ones are the least favorite ones.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with Sky Temple. It's very macro heavy. If you lose in the first 5 minutes, you usually lose the game, which is something people don't really enjoy, right?
Yeah, so here, Infernal Shrines is going to be that hot topic where, I mean, I've said it every week. I really want to see Kerrigan here, but Kerrigan's banned at the moment. It's really
unfortunate.
Silly. The EU League manager is just such a pain banning out that hero.
Like, I really don't like that guy.
He is really so annoying. But
it forces me to watch the Rumble every week as well.
Well, the Rumble is one of the most entertaining Heroes of the Storm you can see, certainly on this channel. Or just all around. So I've heard. It's always some good games. And with Infernal Shrines being this first map pick, we could get anything here. I mean, Spark is a little bit of a loose cannon on some assassins as well. So got to watch out for Spark on maybe Kalthazad if it Frobus on careful.
He's been... he's been flexing for his team quite a bit recently, playing Diablo, playing Probius, everything you can imagine.
Well, Spark is an OG Probius player. You might not know this, DK, but before he played those other heroes, he played Probius.
Really?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And Probius is definitely a thing. And against Food for Probius, Probius is something they're scared of.
Looks like we have both teams into the lobby, so we are soon going to be heading into game number 1, or draft number 1, actually.
Yeah, heading into draft number 1, hopefully soon. We've got a few people, big fans of you, DK. You're looking incredibly dapper today. In fact, you even made me put on this shirt because your shirt's so wonderful itself. Yeah, unfortunately, we can't quite see it, but it looks good.
Yeah, I'll sit up just a little bit. Maybe you can see it. I'm not sure. Yeah, we look very, very good, Transparent. Are you single by any chance, Transparent?
Yes, I am also single.
Yeah. Well, he is single. He's very handsome, and he is the EU League manager. So, if you want to have a date with him, just hit him up.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for that, DK. It's incredibly embarrassing. Anywho,
looks like Food for Phrobius is ready.
Is this? Having a little bit of
a bouncer going on here.
Yeah.
These
teams are quite close.
We're ready to go into draft number 1, Transparent.
Yes, yeah, I think we might be very soon. Of course, these teams have a little bit of history. Sonny herself used to play on Woof Woof Warriors, which is the sister team of Kitty Cat Crusaders. And so that means that they sort of know each other incredibly well, as Woof Woof Warriors used to scrim against Kitty Cat Crusaders. So we'll have to wait and see what these teams tend to look for in the draft. Of course, it's going to be incredibly impactful here as we have the first pick going over for Food for Phobias. What do you think they're looking for in their first pick, DK?
I mean, you know, the Medivh, but it's going to get banned out for sure. That's really something that's going to be gone. Sonny on her ETC though, I think so far she's 12-0 this season. Looking to add on to that stat, yeah, 12-0, has not lost a single game on ETC yet.
12-0, that is an incredible statistic. When you're 100% on any hero, it really shows you mean business. But in terms of being 12-0, I mean, it means it might just well get banned out. When you're that on top of the stats screen on the Lounge website, it's incredibly impressive.
And there it is, the Medivh ban. It's, I mean, Fizz has his name as FizzEve, so it kind of makes sense we see that banned out.
Yeah, indeed. You know, you have to respect the Medivh. It can just be too annoying to deal with, especially when you're so used to sort of a standard, you know, well-oiled blow-up composition, which is incredibly sort of a standard way to play, especially a simple way to play and good way to win games. Medivh just cancels that strategy completely, so you really have to get rid of it. I like the ban here from Kitty Cat Crusaders, as well as the Gazlo, leaving possibly your favourite hero still available to pick. Will they go for the Imperius?
Murky? Oh, Imperius. Oh, well, this is awkward.
This is awkward.
No, Imperius is very strong, but I think he might have been fallen off in the meta a little bit since people are starting to be able to deal with it better. Because the trick to killing the Imperius is CC chain.
Yeah.
That's all you have to do. But we see an Irel first pick here, Transparent.
Yeah, I mean, Irel is a very strong hero in the meta in general, and Hat just seems to value it over the ETC. And with the support picks coming out here as well, I really like what the Kitty Cat Crusaders have done. Sonic is filling in for Jam this week, but Sonic pretty much plays the same heroes as Jam. And we see that Anna being banned out by Food for Phobias themselves, and then Stukov just being picked up in contrast to that by Kitty Cat Crusaders. So well drafted here so far by the Kitty Cats.
Yeah, taking away 2 comfort picks from the Food for Phobias is really good. The ETC from Sonny, the Stukov from Jam or Sonic. So I really like what Kitty Cat are doing here so far.
Yeah, you know, we absolutely do. And with the ETC, it's going to be an additional layer of control, even against the Johanna that Food for Phobias have picked. But I do like the Greymane pickup. That Cursed Bullet can be just so deadly, especially to an ETC.
Yeah, I mean, a Blessed Shield that hit into a Cursed Bullet, that's usually a dead person if the healer doesn't have that much burst, like a Stukov. So, and
yeah.
If its trait is not up, of course.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, it's a 16-second cooldown on the Stukov, but it's just so impactful. And you can't get that physical armor, which might help against Greymane, but the Cursed Bullet burst is not going to be quite enough. We see the Cassia banned out. Now, these teams did scrim each other just a few days ago, and they played each other, I believe, in the main season as well a few weeks back. So this is why these bans are being so sort of crafted. You wouldn't normally see a Cassia ban right now, would you, DK?
I think Cassia is, you know that power spike she had in the meta a few months ago? She had fallen off, but I really think she's coming back in the meta right now as a really strong DPS, so it does not surprise me. If a Cassia player is really strong, then to see that banned out is not a surprise.
Yeah, when Kitty Cats and Food for Phobias went against each other in the main season, that was sort of the height of the Cassia, and Cassia was picked up by Oni Knight, the first pick, I think, and the Hanzo coming out from Spark then. So obviously Food for Phobias reflecting on the Infernal Shrines they played previously in the season with these bans. But we see Uther as the support and Falstad as the last assassin. We were talking about that Falstad earlier, DK. Do you think this is a nice composition?
FizzEve is really strong at putting the macro pressure with the Falstad, so I really like the draft I have. But do you see on the other side, there's an ETC and a Mei having 2 main tanks right there.
Yeah, I guess this Mei is going to be the off-lane Mei, because Karasan sort of mainly plays the tank. They've just swapped around, so...
It's an off-lane Mei.
I'm not quite sure. No, it'd be an off-lane ETC?
Is it? I do not know.
I'm not 100% sure. But we'll have to wait and see as these loading screens come up. Oh, I did forget to do the betting. I'm very sorry for those who love to do the betting. I may be able to try and get it a little bit quickly. Talk about which composition you most enjoy in these.
I mean, I am not quite sure about the offlane Mei or ETC, whichever it is going to be. It can give a lot of control, but you're losing quite some wave clear. Hat on Arel is going to have those early prioritizations on the rotations. I think I am going to put my points on Food for Phrobius.
Yep, Food for Phrobius do definitely look strong. There's a little quick 2-minute bet. It'll be about 2 minutes, 1 minute 30 once we get there, but we are now in game. Let's see. So we have our current champions of the Nexus Rumble who want to defend the title. It is Food for Phrobius with Sonic on Uther, Sonny on the Johanna Hat on the Yrel, Sidonian on Greymane, and Fazeev playing Falstad.
And on the right side, we have the challengers, Kitty Cat Crusaders. We have Flyman on the ETC, Spark on his beloved Orphea. We have Darken on the Stukov. We have Oni Knight on the Lunara. And we have Kastran playing the Mei.
Yeah, and these teams are just going to go straight to the mid lane. And, they're both so good. This is the top of Div 2 here. Some of the real best of the best before you get to those Division 1 dreadnoughts almost. So they're just fighting off in the middle. Sonic going in already straight away, and Karasan trying their best to get a little bit of stun, but already has gone to the top to soak.
Yeah, that extra soak is going to give him even more prioritization in the rotations here, so I really like what Hat is doing here.
Yeah, and we do indeed see the offlane ETC as Hat is going to try and delay him, but Flyman's going around so incredibly safely to get that additional XP and does not miss a single drop. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, teams are just putting the pressure on Fazeev, making sure to take the advantage you have over the rusty Fizz, who has been out of the game for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, maybe... to be fair, I have been playing with Fazeev a bit in Storm League, and he's been inting here and there, but overall he's been doing quite a good job. So I think they should be fine. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my points.
Yeah, he may well be fine. But we see this top lane is going so well. And in this sort of bottom half of the map, both teams picking up these siege camps almost identically. So there's going to be quite a fight over who can get the mid one. In the very bottom, we see blue team taking a bit more of an aggressive stance, getting that additional soak, and they're going to rotate to the mid lane. This might open an opportunity for red team to maybe get the camp, but it's been scattered out by the Wisp. Good use of the Wisp here from Lunara.
Yeah, the Wisp was in a very good placement. They knew their wave clear is a bit on the lesser side, so having that extra vision is always helpful. And we see now Kitty Cat's turning onto Hat, but Hat's just going to walk away from there.
Yeah, I mean, the XP rotations is so close, but blue team are going to take the camp. That crucial rotation from mid to bot. They kept the 3-man in the bot and sent Greymane to mid, whereas the red team sent almost all of their team to the mid lane to clear out the camp, allowing the blue team to get this additional shrine here, camp in the bot lane.
Shrine.
Shrine, of course, is spawned in the mid lane, DK. Yeah, it's, that sort of is quite a neutral position in terms of the macro points, do you think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we probably will see both teams taking their own bruiser camp on their side of the map to try and get that pressure into the top lane, which will usually cancel out since both teams do it. But if one team does not, then that is going to push through that wall and maybe even further.
Yeah, and we see the blue team here, Food for Phrobius, taking the bruiser camp incredibly quickly. They do have the Greymane, they have the Falstad, which has a little bit of advantage of a decent auto attack as well against neutral opponents. Of course, Orphea not got that herself, but Only Knight on the Lunara is going to put in a little bit of damage against these things. Sonic going forward, trying to blind the DPS. The damage is being reduced, but the red team going in with the engage on the ETC. A lot of stuns coming out here on Sonic. She's have to pop the Iron Skin. She's going to try and walk away, but Karasan getting focused by the Greymane. Fazeev trying their best with Hat on the Yrel, knocking people back. Blue team's health bars are falling lower and lower as we get into this fight, as Uther just doesn't have the sustain to keep it up, and Hat is going to be the first one to fall, and it's going to be Sonny to follow, and Sidonian is just a blink away, but Orphea is taken out instead. So a 3-for-1 trade here. Just not got the sustain.
The Kitty Cat's a super strong fight for them. They know with the Lunara, the Uther cannot sustain that at all. They take the early position, not taking their own bruiser camp, and they have a great fight there.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the history of Kitty Cats, but maybe they haven't played Lunara much before. But if they have, Uther is such a risky hero to play into it. I think he does manage in some cases, but especially excels against big burst compositions, which Lunara is not one of them. So Kitty Cat's playing incredibly well, just as you said, playing it slow, and they get this first objective.
Yeah, they do, and it is a Frozen Punisher, which is the one you want in the early game. He skills the least, but disabling the towers is so huge.
Yeah, and it just means that they can push so nicely down this mid lane. And it's
in the meantime, Fiziv takes the well in the bottom lane and is able to fly away on time.
Yeah, I mean, so cheeky there, so cheeky getting that well backdoor. It's a small victory for the loss of your mid towers and well itself. But if the objective spawns in the bot lane, it's good. Yeah, you can't. It's a pretty good push for the first objective here for the Kitty Cats.
Yeah, and they're looking at the invade maybe, but they're not going to be on time.
No, not quite. Putting a bit of damage onto Sonny here at the moment, and she's getting silenced and slowed, but put down to 50% HP, and Uther's trying their best to keep them up, but it's going to be a tough battle, especially as they're sort of going to... Sonny's going to have to engage on 60% HP almost all the time if she's poked like this.
Yeah, and of course after level 10 with the Blessed Shield, it's going to be a lot easier for her to be able to do that, but right now the Kitty Cats, even though they have the Lunara, which skills a lot, like very hard into the late game, they're doing very well.
Yeah, and having cleared out that mid camp, this additional camp from Kitty Cats is putting the pressure in the mid lane, and the rest of Viviphobus are having to rotate to clean it out. Viziv now hearthing to get some mana, while ETC has been pushing in the top. This is a sort of... So we were talking about how Viviphobus are a big macro team, but Kitty Cats have just done so well so far in this game.
Yeah, they have. And I just want to ask, with this offlane ETC, do you think we're going to see the stage dive coming out here?
Oh, it's more than likely. I think, you know, you've had the Johanna and Uther, so it's... And with the Mighty Gus as well, it's just never going to get a mosh pit that's going to be big value, especially as an offlane when you want that global pressure. So it's got to be a stage dive. We do see Divine Storm coming out here, and yeah, there's stage dive. The first heroic pick.
The Blessed Shield, the Cursed Bullet goes down, the stun, and that is May deleted.
Bit of a T-Tours there, but May getting taken out with the Cursed Bullet with the stuns. Yeah, proving to be incredibly useful against May.
Yeah, that's what I said in the draft. Once they get the 10, the Blessed Shield, the Cursed Bullets, they're going to blow people up, and that's exactly what they're doing. And now, pushing into the bottom lane, where the next objective is going to be.
Yeah, and you know, this is sort of the thing with Johanna compositions. You rarely get a decent engage before level 10, but once you get to level 10, yeah, Blessed Shield can do an awful lot against other tanks. So nice stuff here from Viviphobus. They're getting a foothold into this game.
And you were correct. It's the stage dive coming out from ETC.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was talking about for too long as I missed the kill on there.
Oh, but we see everyone of Viviphobus rotating for that ETC. The slide, is there a stun coming out? The medallion gets used by ETC. Uther has the stun, and ETC is dead. We see the avalanche go down, misses everyone. May engages, and the gust from Fiziv does not want to be there.
Such big heroics used. We probably could notice there that Uther did not use his stun for so long because he was waiting to interrupt the stage dive as a possible escape from ETC. So really nice play here from Sonic. Whereas, you know, the medallion was used, but stage dive wasn't used at the same time. So maybe ETC just being a bit cautious as they could use stage dive a little bit later as, yeah, death times aren't too long right now. And he is now up and away as objective number 2 comes out and Flyman steals a couple of minions there.
Yeah, and we see the fight over the second objective here. Viviphobus already with a good lead with 17 Shrine Minions versus 9. But Kitty Cats do have the position on the Shrine here.
Yeah, they have the position and they have sort of the main composition that does so well. And Yrel using her heroics so early here with the Blessed Shield comes out onto Flyman, but it's not quite enough to take it out. Hat is getting pressured by the Lunara and the stun comes out from ETC, falling lower and lower. Blue team are now forcing their way onto the point. The Gust comes out. Here is the Divine Storm, but the damage is just not quite there to follow up. Sidonian not quite feeling confident enough to leap in that Grey main form. Just waiting perhaps for Cursed Bullet to come up in 10 seconds, but Hat is getting focused. The stuns comes out. ETC is going to go down. Hat falling lower and lower as well. The heal from Uther is going to keep him alive for a bit longer, but Spark is about to pop off. He gets a lot of damage. Stukov instead is taken out by the Greymane. These are trading kills left and right, and Greymane is all by himself after a bit of
under
an
the
avalanche.
fort. Yeah, but it is a 2-for-1 in favor of Food for Phrobius so far, and they have 38, they get 35 Shrine minions, and they do secure it, but Sidonian on that Greymane is going to fall to the ends of Oni Knight and Spark. Can they get the counter onto Casteran, or is that not going to be possible? Spark, in a 1v3 situation, is able to get the Uther down, and Sonny is taking a lot of damage, but Uther is there to be able to heal her up.
Yeah, that Uther is just providing the heal to keep people alive afterwards, but so much damage here.
Oh,
coming out from
Fazeev
Spark.
putting pressure on the Mei, and he gets the kill.
Oh, juicy stuff here from Fazeev. Once again, T-Tors chance. I'm looking at the objective too much, but it's been beautiful stuff here so far. These picks off just left, right, and centre from Food for Phrobius to keep them in the game, and this objective took out a complete fort all by itself. Nicely done here from Food for Phrobius.
Yeah, definitely. And the mid fort is very low, but hasn't fallen yet. So the catapult pressure is in favor of Food for Phrobius so far.
Yeah, indeed it is. This mid fort is so low, and Kitty Cat Crusaders can pick it up at any time if they just find the right gap. But just not quite yet. And Food for Phrobius is now... Yeah, they're taking their camps. They might get a little bit of a momentum going here. You know, they've got the fort, they've got the positioning, they've got the first camp. This is their time
They're
to
looking
shine.
to invade here. We see Blessed Shield go down on Lunar. No Cursed Bullet to follow. And the Orphea gets deleted by the Greymane though. Stage Dive comes in, but Arel's already here.
Yeah, and the bit of appeal here from Mei means that Lunar is able to get away. A quick kill here for Food for Phrobius.
Yeah, great fight by them. They take the siege camp away. They take down the fountain that is in the mid lane. Which is something you want to do with those camps, right? If you give vision over the wall onto the fountain, then they're going to attack that.
Yeah, and I think Falstad had enough attack range almost to hit it, which was quite nifty as well. But we see, yeah, Food for Phrobius taking this Bruiser camp away from Kitty Cat Crusaders, as the next objective is going to be in the top lane. Although it doesn't provide that macro pressure, it does provide a little bit of vision pressure. And Food for Phrobius also going for the well. Sneaky play here from them.
Yeah, and they're ahead in the rotations, so they're just able to secure that.
Yeah, indeed they are, and they're just playing it patiently. They're looking there. Karasan is just hiding away a little bit here behind the fort. We see level 16 picked up here now for Food for Phrobius. They're feeling incredibly confident. They had the benediction on Uther, so that stun composition with the sort of the stun blessed hammer from Uther. I can't remember what the ability is actually called now, but yeah, the double stun into Divine Storm can really lock down Orphea and prove that they can get a quick kill with any sort of stun. But Red Team now trying to maybe look to gank Hat, maybe force out that heroic ability.
Yeah, Hat knows better than this. He knows they're missing. He's not going to step up into the lane. But the mid fort falls in favor of Kitty Cat Crusaders. We see the Blessed Shield go down onto ETC. The Cursed Bullet follows, but Fazeev on the Falstad not quite able, or not quite in range to follow there.
Yeah, the massive swipe coming out to peel for ETC, which is an important heroic, but with Blessed Shield down from Johanna with a sort of very similar cooldown, it's not going to be too much of a loss there. Blessed Shield's sort of their main engage, is it not?
And Kitty Cats are putting a trap down here in the top side.
Oh, and ETC stage dives out. Fazeev trying to get the gust on the bottom, but yeah, Kitty Cat's taking away the Bruiser camp here on the side, but they could now be caught out by Food for Phrobius. Food for Phrobius are going to look for this aggressive engage, and Hat is ready on the Urel, maybe looking to try and get the stun onto Oni Knight. The Cursed Bullet as well.
And that's so much damage onto Oni Knight.
Beautiful stuff.
The armor reduction from 16, but they follow onto Spark, and he falls as well. The 3-man avalanche trying to peel off, but it does not work, and they're going to go for more. Blessed Shield is up in 1 second. Where is it? It is used, but Medallion from Flyman denies it, but he is still going to fall here.
Yeah, they're just chasing them down with the Divine Storm now here on the Mei. She uses her Ice Block, but is quickly taken care of by the rest of Food for Phrobius. They're just getting straight through it. I think it's this giant killer value that you have on both Falstad and Greymane now. It just enables them to get some quick kills.
Yeah, then that is so much damage, and they're going to push into the top lane where the next Punisher is going to be. While 4 people are still dead, and they're opening up the wall, which will make it harder to defend it.
Yeah, especially with no Mei available and ETC up in only 12 seconds. Sonic tanking a little bit too long here. No minions here means a little bit of damage, but Sonic able to run away with that fanaticism on level 16. Oh no, it's just taking so much damage from these long range attacks.
Spark is going in, chomps away, is able to dash away. Sidonian follows the dash and the gust, the stun onto ETC. Is he able to get out? Yes, Blessed Shield was still on cooldown for about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
And they're going to get out here.
With no Divine Storm either, it just means that ETC was able to freely go in at that point. See if now Hearthstoning or Fear back up in 20 seconds. This is a good opportunity for Phoebius to maybe get the first keep of the game.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like it. The wall's open. They have a Punisher. They're soon to be level 19, close to level 20. So if they get a few picks, maybe they're able to take game number 1 here.
Yeah, and this is not a particularly high damage game either. It's been a lot of macro pressure and just some quick, short, sharp fights as well. Even with the Lunara Stukov, Blue Team have just been able to put out a little bit of damage with Fear being the highest damage at 32,000, whereas Lunara has done 94,000 of siege damage. So definitely a more macro game than a team fight. But here, the Punisher jumps onto the hero back there, and Mei is just blown up without being able to even attempt to press the Ice Block. Urel trying to get the rest of the team. Spark is peeling backwards, but this Punisher is still so healthy, DK.
Yeah, and it's a 5v4 now with the Mei falling, and they're just going to follow the Punisher jump. Lunar is able to get away. ETC slides in, gets stunned by the Uther, but it does not result into a kill. Can Foot for Phoebius go for an end here?
Possibly. They're going to have level 20 fairly soon. It's going to be incredibly crucial. They'll probably save it maybe for the wind tunnel to go for that big play. But here is the cleanse coming out. Here, the medallion on Fizz. But there is the mighty Gust. Level 20 not quite picked up, and they're just going to retreat. They're happy with getting just a kill, a keep and a kill. And they're going to go back and maybe defend this camp here in the mid lane.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, they're testing their limits. If they get a pick, they may be able to end. They don't find it, and they wisely retreat.
Yeah, Red Team aren't down and out yet. They are 2 levels down, but they've got a bit of an opportunity now until the next objective. They'll probably have to give every camp, but they're looking to freeze the lane and maybe pick up level 20 beforehand. At level 20, who do you think wins the team fights?
Now, this is what I like. The Lunar spikes super hard at level 20. Orphea gets a lot of spell damage. ETC gets the bolt usually, or the Death Mosh can be really big. But on the other side, we have the Wind Tunnel, we have the Radiating Faith from Johanna, and Divine Hurricane as well. Oh, we see a Medivh Fly and the Gust into the Orphea, into the team, and that is a quick kill for Foot for Phoebius.
Yeah, and that's going to give them advantage that they want to take this keep wall, maybe keeping Kitty Cat Crusaders away from level 20 before the next objective. Spark putting out the well plays here as he was just caught by that Gust. A beautiful play here from Falstad. There's on that Falstad, once again proving that the mighty Gust really can be put to value at any point in the game. Oh, and they're going to get possibly another keep.
Yeah, there's the camp, there's 2 catapults, there's level 20, a 5v4. This is definitely keep number 2 falling in favor of Foot for Phoebius.
Yeah, but this is a big minion wave here at the bottom, and they might get another couple from the top. They're definitely going to get level 20, but there's such a big macro pressure. And with the mid lane pushing in as well, maybe Foot for Phoebius will look to get that. Or maybe they've got other plans. This Hat is just sort of loitering in the mid lane. Red Team is going to look to chase them.
There's a root coming down from Stukov. Oh, and the Gust is back up, and they Gust 2 into the corner. The Stukov uses Medallion. The Divine Hurricane is huge. Fiziv falling very low, but Uther is able to heal him up. Lunara putting out so much damage. And Hat uses it ult. It's so far 1-for-1, but Hat is going to fall as well. 2-for-1 in favor of Kitty Cat, and they pick up their level 20.
Yeah, and the rest of the tanks of the Red Team were looking to chase. Spark not quite getting the message, and Lunara having to go back to defend against those catapults. But this has put them in a really good position. They've lost Stukov for 40 seconds, but with their prime DPS, I think they're pretty happy to try and contest this objective still.
Yeah, and they're going to have an advantage here, being 4v3 against Foot for Phoebius. But Foot for Phoebius, in the meantime, they know that they can still get away with taking the siege camps here.
Yeah, and they have the thing is, Kitty Cat Crusaders have the global pressure of ETC to be able to sort out those camps, and it looks like Falstad's looking to put in a bit of global pressure themselves.
And they're going
bottom here
to
with
bait
this camp.
the back.
Oh, but you can't have a core call with just a Medea, a Falstad, an Uther, and a Johanna.
Yes, dive go down, and they're able to safely retreat. But it does pull 4 members of Kitty Cat Crusaders towards the bot lane, giving enough time for the rest of Food for Phrobius to respawn. And you see the Gust on Spark again, who stayed on the objective, and he's going to fall.
Yeah, I mean, you had to be super careful there. You weren't quite expecting the big fly in here and the commitment from the Mighty Gust. Maybe a medallion could have saved them, but here is the Divine Hurricane onto the ETC. ETC is the next to fall. Only Knight trying so desperately to put damage on the Fazeev, but Fazeev has got that shield from the level 4 talent Karasan so deep here on the Mei. It's 5v3. Can the red team try and kite around the damage? But Only Knight is getting the damage put on the medallion used to try and dodge the stun from Hat. Karasan now having 2 Hearthstone. This looks like Food for Phrobius are going to be able to take this objective and get an Arcane Punisher pushed down the mid lane.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate that Spark got caught out there with the Gust, because, as you see, Kitty Cat Crusaders already had 30 of the Shrine Minions ready.
Yeah, and you know, it's crucial. Orphea has been doing a great deal in these team fights, able to get the kills when needed, and I think that's sort of the linchpin of their composition. Lunara's doing a lot of damage that we can sort of see, but Orphea's the one picking up the kills, but she's also been getting focused a lot with the stuns, and Food for Phrobius are just taking the opportunity to get this next keep, I think, and probably threaten core. So what can Kitty Cat Crusaders do? They're going to be all up in 1 second, and they've got all their heroics, a couple of medallions. Can they make the big plays?
Let's see if they can. Maze was looking on the flank for the Avalanche, and we see ETC being blown up instantly. Fazeev gets pulled in by the crushing jaws from Spark, but he is able to get out. Hat pushing the Lunara around, and that's Spark also falling, calling the GGs. And that Punisher is still very healthy. It jumps onto the Mei, the Avalanche comes down, gets the Uther, but it's not going to be enough. Fazeev, can he survive? No, ruining his KDA. Game number 1, Transparent, is going to go to Food for Phrobius.
Yep, they did incredibly well. Food for Phrobius taking game number 1, showing that even when you sort of fall behind again in sort of the early game, it's can be pretty good as you get into the late game, especially with those Mighty Gusts. So here's the post-game stats. A lot of damage coming out from Greymane and Orphea taking the lead, but it's only up to 60k damage, whereas the macro game was surely big with sort of macro numbers in the 100ks. Here are the talents for anyone at home. I know there was a big discussion about the Stukov builds. I think Stukov definitely is one of those heroes that there's a lot of adaptive builds, and it really is your playstyle, but it's nice to see these sort of different discussions, even in the Twitch chat. It's really good to see. So, yeah, game number 2. What do you think Kitty Cat Crusaders could think about? Are they going to choose map or first pick?
So they were the one that picked map number 1, right? Infernal Shrines. They felt comfortable on it. It didn't pay off.
Yeah.
So, what I would do in there, if I were them, I would go for the first pick. Take the comfortable heroes in their first 2 rotations. Take the strong heroes, and maybe get a meta pick like a Chromie, like a Gasolo, like a Diva, or something like that, and go continue from there.
Yeah, I mean, you have to sort of think about your power plays, and you know, Spark was doing a great deal on that Orphea, and you know, they were doing really well, especially in those early fights where they were able to play it slow, where they were able to make that Uther's healing just feel like the team was slowly bleeding out. So maybe they'll try and do something again, but just sort of tighten up their corners. As I say, they did scrim Food for Phrobius a couple of days ago, so they definitely know the weaknesses that could happen in this next game.
Yeah, and to be fair, it was a really strong game. Like, until level 10, Kitty Cat Crusaders did have the advantage. Getting the win on the first shrine was really big for them. But once Food for Phrobius hit level 10, it just fell from there. They got the picks with the Blessed Shield, with the Cursed Bullet, and they were just able to apply so much macro pressure.
Yeah, indeed. And, you know, those late game kills are just so incredible. You have to really think about that, especially. It makes me think that Mighty Gus needs a bit of a cooldown nerf, as it just seems to always be off in the late games, especially as so much uptime.
Yeah, that's very true. Mighty Gus is really something you can play around, and that's Fiziev is doing a great job at that.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
just asking, have you coordinated your choices of shirts?
we actually did a little bit. We were on
That's
cam a
it.
little bit earlier, and you showed me that shirt, and I said, you know what, you're going to show me up if I don't put on a similar shirt. So I dug out the one that I think is the most similar that I have, and here we are, putting on a little bit of a style show, showing that Heroes Lounge Nexus Rumble really has style. And here we are in the Nexus Rumble Upper Series. If you're just joining us or a new person to maybe Heroes Lounge, yeah, this is a sort of little mini league that we have on the side of our main leagues, where it's a winner stays on tournament. We have challenges every Sunday at 19:30 CET. But FIFA Phobius has been on for weeks now, and they're sort of towards the top of Division 2, but they have really been showing their stuff in the Nexus Rumble. And Kitty Cats looked super strong in game number 1, but they're going to have to come back a little bit stronger in game number 2 if they want to take any sort of chance of being the challengers here in the Nexus Rumble.
Yeah, and we do see Kitty Cat Crusaders opting into the first pick, and that means Food for Phobius is picking the map, and they do pick what was it again? Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Tomb of the Spider Queen, another small sort of rotation heavy map, but it's sort of one that FIFA Phobius have been incredibly experienced of. Now, I don't want to give anything away, but I've noticed every time we play on Tomb of the Spider Queen with FIFA Phobius, watch out for those rotations from the offlane. It's something that makes them incredibly powerful, and they're incredibly good at sort of using it to their best advantage. So really look out for that. And Kitty Cat Crusaders better be aware as well. You know, watch out in the mid lane, because Hat's going to be there.
Yeah, Hats is doing a phenomenal job on the offlane so far. Getting those ganks with the Rel and everything, it's just so strong for them.
Yeah, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is just one of those maps where things can really go pear-shaped if you lose all those gems. But it's not over till it's over, as we've seen in the past, where Phobius made a little bit of an additional crazy boss call, and it went back to bite them. So, can Kitty Cat Crusaders find their own sort of loophole to try and break Food for Phobius, as they almost did in game number 1? Just waiting for teams to join the lobby, and then hopefully we'll be having a draft for you very soon.
Yeah, they, like, as I said, Kitty Cat Crusader started off so well into the game. They did super well. They just got picked off a few times, and then Food for Phobius were just able to capitalize on those small mistakes.
Yeah, and you know, you have to think about that. But Tomb of the Spider Queen is a little less objective, sort of. There's not that clock that you have on the maps like Cursed Hollow, on the maps like Infernal Shrine. There's no sort of regimented time of when you're supposed to fight, when you're supposed to push or whatever. There is that thing of collecting gems, trying to turn them in. It can be a bit more of a stalemate with those teams sort of delaying the turn-ins, making sure that they can get that sort of additional pressure in the long term, rather than sort of thinking, right, we've got an objective in 2 minutes, we'll wait till then to fight. So we'll have to see who benefits there from those longer sort of fights.
And transparent, we are ready to go into draft number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Are you ready?
I'm so excited. Let's get going.
Let's see what is going to happen.
Tomb of the Spider Queen. We do have the bets running this time. I managed to click the button. How sensible of me. We have Food for Phobius as our !bet A team, and Kitty Cat Crusaders as our !bet B team. So if you're thinking, oh, who's going to win? I know it's going to be Kitty Cat Crusaders, because they're so good on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So I'm going to do !B 200. That's what you could do if you think that's going to happen. But here we've seen Medivh straight away banned out here by Kitty Cats. So sensible from them, is it not, DK?
Yeah, I mean, Fizz is just never going to get that. He's just so well known around Heroes Lounge to be that awesome Medivh player, and he's really good at it. So it being banned out every time is not a surprise. And we see an Arel ban as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hat did a lot of work on that URL, sometimes getting a little bit caught out, but doing an incredible job. You know, I think Kitty Cat's played really well into it, but it does have an additional... It's that chase that URL can sort of bring and really disrupt your positioning. So, a wise ban here for Kitty Cats.
We see Gazo being banned out as well. It's definitely one of the power picks in the meta currently. That's not something I used to say a few weeks ago. Gazo was one of the memes in Heroes of the Storm, but now one of the top priorities in picks and bans.
Yeah, and speaking of turret heroes, this could well be a Probius map, I think. You know, Spark has shown it in the past a long time ago, but it's not irrelevant. It's just the other day, I believe, Washed Up were beaten by a Gazlo.
Very true, yes.
Probius composition. Although the Gazlo's banned out, and that might have been the linchpin, but certainly not a surprise that can happen here.
Yeah, and again the Kitty Cats take ETC away from Sonny, so she just responds with the Johanna, which is usually the counter you want against the ETC, since you can interrupt the mosh pits very easily.
Yeah, it's very good, and we've seen this Johanna Greymane composition in the last game, and they did follow up on the Blessed Shields with the Cursed Bullets. It's not something they're unusual to face, but with Anna is still available, so Kitty Cats has got to ban that. And Stukov will be available for Sonic, so I think they put themselves in a bit of a tough place here, picking the Anduin up.
Yeah, I would have liked to see them pick up the Stukov maybe, but now that means Froggies are either going to get Diva or Stukov, which are two very priority picks for them. And it's not going to be Diva.
No, it's not going to be Diva, so now the supports are open.
And we also see Kel'Thuzad ban against Spark, which makes a lot of sense. He is so strong on that hero.
Yeah, he absolutely is. You know, he really can sort of put the combos together and just get those late game picks that make sure that you get some good stuff. Yeah, we see that Anna here now picked up, and Rexar being picked up by Hat. That's a pretty standard Hat pick for Tomb of the Spider Queen. I think Food for Phobos are getting the draft they wanted. Do you think Kitty Cat Crusaders are getting the draft they want?
I'm kind of confused about the Anduin pick. I'm not sure, but if it fits their playstyle, like you have the Light Bomb, which can initiate very well with the ETC. Then it could definitely... Oh, actually, Light Bomb on the Mephisto teleport. What do you think of that?
I think it's beautiful, and not just that, but the Light Bomb to follow up any sort of Blaze stun here. This is such a CC heavy composition with these two frontline. The ETC slide into a Blaze stun into a Light Bomb means that Cassia and Mephisto can both get those big AoE damage abilities down and really try to decimate anyone who steps forward from Phobos.
Now we're going to see Falstad again. No, it is going to be Sylvanas. Sylvanas able to put on that extra pressure with the black arrows. Disabling the towers is going to be very big for them.
So DK, where are you going to say where are you going to put your money where your mouth is? Who are you going to be betting for?
This is very hard. I like both drafts. The final rotation of Kitty Cat Crusaders with the Mephisto and the Blaze I really like. But I think that Johanna with the Blessed Shield into the bullet is just so strong, and they executed it perfectly in game number 1. So I think I'm going to go with Food for Phobos again here.
Yeah, well, I have faith in Spark's Mephisto. I'm going to go with B 300. Try and give a little bit of points.
300 points, Transparent.
Yeah, I've got points. What you going to do about it? I've got points to spare.
I only have 91 points. Can you give me some? Or...
I maybe can after this game, but we are now here. We are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. DK, this is Kitty Cat Crusaders. Contenders, they need to come back in this series to maybe try and get some sort of win. We have Spark here on Mephisto, Darken on the Anduin, Flyman on Blaze, Only Knight on Cassia, and Karasan on ETC.
And on the left side, we have Food for Phobias, the defending reigning champions for about 4 weeks, if I remember correctly. We have Sonny on Johanna, Sidonian on that Sylvanas, Fiziv playing that Greymane, Hat on the Rexar, and we have Sonic playing that Anna.
Yeah, we do indeed. Sonny and Sonic both on the same team here, the Team Son. Sonny?
Could be quite confusing, to be fair.
It could be. I did think that Sonic was playing Johanna for a second there as I glanced, but no, it is the Anna. And we do see these sort of standard talents being picked up. A block party to try and negate any sort of Greymane additional damage here from the ETC. So a nice little shift here, but we see a little bit of a cheeky...
Gank go down in the bottom, but Fiziv is in that bush and he sees this.
And he's
Hat
ready.
is going to bring in Misha. And there's a stun attempt from Flyman onto Hat, but it misses.
Yeah, a nice little dodge here. Tucking around the corner of the scenery to be able to do something. Karasan and Spark trying to put a bit of rotational trouble for Food for Phobias. But yeah, really nice play here from both teams. Sort of both trying to get a little bit of a gang pressure. But the beautiful sleep here coming out from Sonic. Sonic going in, now getting the stuns and the slow. But the stun coming back from Karasan. The root's not able to follow up as the Iron Skin was popped. And here's Hat with the rotation.
From Hat.
Yeah, the rotation, but it's quickly followed up by Flyman. Kitty Cat Crusaders well aware of this little trick that Food for Phobias do every week.
Yeah, that, of course, they have been watching the Rumble as well, so they have some inside information on their opponent. But as we see a stun go down onto Hat, and Cassia is here to deal the damage, but Misha being able to peel away Hat.
Or Fiziv able to get the damage here on the top lane against the Cassia, and ETC is going to go down as well after trying to take the revenge kill. Only Knight almost getting it against Fiziv here. But well played here from Food for Phobias, getting a crucial first blood and able to get a little bit of tiny damage here as they push in the minions.
Oh, we see Cassia being pressured. Johanna is there with the condemn, and she's going to fall as well. And look at the gem count, 27 against 14.
Yeah, I mean, it's crucial. You have to count these gems so often, especially in the early game, as it just gives you that additional advantage. And 3 kills means they've got 9 extra gems, as well as denying the gems that they've got by killing the red team. They've got to be more careful. Kitty Cat Crusaders were playing so well in game number 1, and they were playing so well in very early stages of this game, but just a couple of sloppy moves. They just need to take a deep breath. Do they not?
And I like what Fiziv is doing here, taking the bottom siege camp, having that additional macro pressure there. Knowing that the rotations from the Kitty Cats were a bit off since a few members died, and he's able to pick that up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like he might be trying to get a little bit of additional pressure with it instead of going for that bruiser camp. No. Oh, no, he's sticking around. Maybe thinking to go to the mid lane now, but no, they're just posturing, trying to get the siege damage to do a bit more damage to this bottom tower. It's got some damage done. Not worthless at all. And we see now the gem counts creeping towards 50 for Food for Phobias.
Yeah, no, 30 so far for the Kitty Cat Crusaders, losing a few gems early on. But now Food for Phobias is attempting to pay. We see Sonny with 19, she's able to get it. Fiziv pays in 5 and Sidonian has 10 in. Now the rest of the gems, or most of them, are on Hat.
Yeah, and I think we saw Sonny just getting the pay in there, and that's so crucial in the early pay-in of Tomb of the Spider Queen to get your tank to pay in their gems, because they usually are needed to zoning out. But it's beautifully done here. They get the first objective, but Karasan here peeling for Flyman. Flyman thinking about maybe going back in with a big stun. Karasan is in danger. Flyman tries to get the stun, but just misses. He's going to get eaten up by Food for Phobias as the rest of the damage is closing in on him. He's getting lower and lower. Does indeed fall to that damage from Sylvanas. The blue team are now having to get away as they fall lower and lower. They get a kill, but now they've got to try and reset and push with these web weavers.
Yeah, and it's Blaze as well, which is a lot of wave gear they're going to miss in the bot lane against Hat.
Yeah.
But the Kitty Cats are able to clear mid lane for free. On the other hand, Sylvanas is pushing with the black arrows, as I said earlier on, and this is going to be a big push for the first web weaver wave.
Yeah, they've gone for this top lane, which is so crucial because it is that boss lane, and the boss is going to start spawning fairly soon, and could be something they could threaten a bit more structure damage or get their self a turn in later. So keep pushing here, sort of distracting as Hat is just soaking the other 2 lanes. Last web weaver at the bottom being cleared up by Blaze, but Spark is going in trying to get the damage. We know that Mephisto scales so well into the late game and they have to be careful, but Karasan is falling lower and lower, and blue team are just have this endless aggression here in the early game, really showing they mean business onto the Spark.
That's another 11 gems down with Spark. Really well done by him. He's able to pick them up, but he is going to pay for it.
Yeah,
17 gems. And can Darkin collect those? I don't think he can.
Oh,
And the Black Arrows back up. They secure the top fort. Are they going to go for the boss now?
I mean, they could well do it. It spawned literally 6 seconds ago, and Sidonian's halving for
Nope.
it. It's a bit
They don't
early.
want anything to do with the boss.
It's a bit early, and the denial of gems is so great here from Food for Phrobius. The Kitty Cat Crusaders, they don't even have enough for the first pay-in. DK, what can they do from this position?
What they have to do here, they take their Bruiser Camp, and they try to get as much experience as possible. Get towards that level 10 and then try to take it from there with their ults, which are going to be very big.
Yeah, incredibly big. Like, you have some really impactful ones like the Mosh Pit.
Hat gets slowed, gets stunned by Flyman on the Blaze, but it was just a zoning attempt to get Darken to pay, but he cancels it. He's not able to get that.
Yeah, maybe not quite thinking, we don't have level 10. If we pay in now, we're not going to get any sort of objective. Let's just
very true.
Stay safe. Let's give whatever we have to. And yeah, if you're just joining us, this is the Nexus Rumble Upper Series. Yes, it's a best of 3 that we do every Sunday. And to see who is the best of the best in the Nexus. This is 2 Division 2 teams this week here in the Upper Series. And Phrobius are 1-0 ahead of Kitty Cat Crusaders, who are doing desperately to try and do as much damage as they can before level 10 here on this middle tower. The Sleep's coming out here, putting Cassia's armor down to 0. She's going to have to try and walk away as quick as she can.
Yeah, she's able to. Food for Phrobius went for the combo with the Blessed Shield, with the Cursed Bullet. We see the Boars go down now. Damage onto Oni Knight, and he falls. Still no level 10 on the side of Kitty Cats, and Sidonian with that Nano Boost is putting on so much damage. 12 HP, and he ends up falling to Spark.
Yeah, but
that's level 10 now for the Kitty Cats.
The Skull Missile was just enough to catch that Sylvanas out on guards, and Flyman now trying to get the pay-in, and the pay-in at the top as well. It looks like there's going to be an objective. No, they're going to be 1 short if they got that pay-in. No, it's 11 short still. Really nicely done for the Kitty Cats. I honestly thought Kitty Cats almost have level 10 there, because ETC was primed in a beautiful mosh pit position. But
yeah, but it did not go up because no level 10 Talenter was there yet. We see the Light Bomb go down onto ETC, but Johanna uses that Iron Skin.
Yep, and we have the opportunity now. Maybe Kitty Cat Crusaders can get the turn, and we have Karasan turning in. No, it's the blind from Sonny. The flash of light. Flyman has gone so deep. The stun comes out from Rexar. The rest of the team is saying the pull from Anduin is interrupted by the bunker. This is going to be disastrous. It's asleep on the backline. It means that Flyman's going to be such danger. The Boars come out to slow everybody down, and Spark is trying their best to maybe get a bit of an advantage here. With
Spark is in a very rough spot here, and Sonny condemned the double stun from the Misha there. Spark is taking damage from the Greymane. He's going to be the first one to fall. The triple sleep on the side of Sonic onto 3 members there. Oni Knight is going to fall here as well. Sidonian putting that damage in. Darkon is going to fall. And Faziv chasing down the ETC.
What a fight here.
That's 4 kills for Food for Phrobius. And they're going to head to that boss.
Yeah, what a fight here for Food for Phrobius. I think, Kitty Cat Crusaders had to sort of have that aggression that they needed to have with a Mephisto out, sort of out of position when you've got that returning thing, because Food for Phrobius did so well to pressure on the Blaze and onto the Mephisto in that returning shade spot. So well done from Food for Phrobius here. Kitty Cat Crusaders, once again, don't have enough gems for a turn-in. They're now facing a boss and potentially another turn-in from Food for Phrobius.
Yeah, and they still lost so many gems in that fight. They don't have enough for their own first turn-in. But it's going to be a boss. It's going to be Web Weavers marching down onto the lanes of Kitty Cat Crusaders. What can Food for Phrobius get here?
They can get whatever they want. They look like they're going straight for this mid fort right now, and they might choose to pressure the front wall as well. As they are here, the boss is quickly being taken out by Kitty Cat Crusaders. They have enough anti-boss damage with the Cassia, with the Blaze, but are they going to be able to defend 3 well-pushed Web Weavers without losing a keep?
I am not sure. We saw the Black Arrows being used by Sylvanas, but it's going to be up quite soon. And they're posturing for this mid keep right now. S5.
Yeah, they are indeed. It looks so good for them right now. They're trying to get the damage in. They've got the Blessed Shield. They have the Cursed Bullet. Any frontliner is going to be in danger. But Could be one mosh pit away from disaster if Karasan's able to get that prime positioning that they really want. Sparks looking for the flank as well on the Mephisto, thinking when can we pull the trigger as these web weavers are pushing in so hard and this keep is falling slightly lower. They need to be careful.
Yeah, and the back arrows are used indeed, and that's half a keep gone in the top side. The front wall is being taken, and in the bot side it's the front wall as well. So Kitty Cat Crusaders are doing a very good job so far defending this.
Yeah, it's an incredible defense, but the trait of Sylvanas will be up shortly. It was used in the mid push, but as they have a 3-level lead here with a talent advantage at the moment, Vivifrobius are happy to just keep control of the game, and well, they're backing out. They might pay their gems that they have at the moment and then keep control, as probably Viziv on the Greymane will take the camps.
Yes, and this is really smart by them. They see that 13 talent here is almost there for Kitty Cat Crusaders, and they're just backing out, just waiting for their 16 talent here where they can get another advantage.
But I think what Vivifrobius did here, they've just sort of played it a bit too fast and loose. They rotated everyone over to get camps, and that is going to help in the defense. Maybe that's what they think. They think they can do a perfect defense here rather than sort of delaying anything and just going for the team fight later. I suppose that is what they did, and they're just getting these camps here to push them out and distract Kitty Cat Crusaders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think these web weavers are going to achieve a lot.
This top one is so well pushed, DK.
Yeah, there's one catapult already there, one coming soon. And in the mid lane, there's the bruiser camp taken by Vivifrobius. Well timed. We see a double sleep go down onto Blaze and onto the Cassia. Blessed Shield goes down, Flyman takes a lot of damage, gets light bombed. And Sidonian, on the other hand, is going to fall there.
Yep, that's a crucial kill here for the Kitty Cats. They are looking to maybe peel out. The bunker is putting a beautiful blockade, but Darken's falling lower and lower, and Greyman goes in, gets the kill, but the Cassia is down there. The mosh pit is there beautifully on the Ana and the backline. Spark is trying to do the best to do the damage, but the hat being the back, being a pretend Zul'jin with the Fazeev as well. The damage is just too much, and Sonic able to get the sleep onto Onionite, peeling up himself. The rest of the blue team is chasing down Karasan, and that's going to be a full man team wipe as the red wave weavers push in on the outer lanes. Vivifrobius took the aggression.
Yeah, they definitely did, and now they're going to look for this mid keep, not even defending their web weavers, which is being taken care of by Hats in the bottom lane and the catapults in the top lane. But this is the first keep going to fall in favor of Vivifrobius.
Yeah, and they're looking at the keep. They're not looking at the core, but they may well look at maybe this bruiser camp if they're feeling cheeky. And it looks like Fazeeva's feeling cheeky today. He's had his ice cream, he's had his biscuits, he's ready for this bruiser camp.
Yeah, and to be fair, level 17 against 14, it's just so well done by Vivifrobius. They're very far ahead, and they can take this. They don't. Kitty Cats cannot do anything, and Darkon is in a very bad spot here. Misses the blessed shield. But the huge ult as well from a Spark. It takes down Greymane. Cassie, on the other hand, gets taken down by Hat. So does Anduin.
The Wailing Arrow silences the Mephisto, though, and that is the damage. The Spark is falling lower and lower, not able to keep the shield up. The shield from the lightning session, and Flyman is falling lower and lower. The rest of Vivifrobius following, and there's a full man team wipe once again on an empty core. Greymane is dead, but can Vivifrobius finish this game?
I think they definitely can with the Sylvanas, with the Rexar, the fake Zul'jin, you know?
Yeah. I always call him fake Zul'jin because he throws axes and looks a bit like him and does some reasonable damage as well with those axes.
Exactly.
They have a full turn-in available if they do feel like it's too much as well, but it's looking like they're going to put a lot of damage. GG is called by Spark. Kitty Cat Crusaders go down 2-0 very soon.
Yeah, and they're taking revenge for the scrim they played a few days ago.
GG, well played. Vivifrobius take the series 2-0 and still are our Nexus Rumble Upper Series champions.
And that is 5 weeks in a row, Transparent. They're there.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to give it to them. They've proved themselves to be so good every week. It's really quite impressive. These guys are pushing out the boundaries of what it is to be a Heroes Lounge team, really doing so well in the Nexus Rumble. But we might have a surprise for them next week in the Nexus Rumble Upper Series, where we're talking about things. We do have the draw show, which is going to be a fantastic little thing for Heroes Lounge, is sort of to see who's going to go against each other in the group stages before our key playoffs. So keep out for that next week at 20 CET. But As I say, we may have a little surprise for Food for Phobias after the draw show, if they are so kind. I'm not sure. I don't really have an interview screen set up, unfortunately, DK. We could maybe try and have an interview, as it's been such a quick series. We'll see what they're doing. Let's see if they want an interview. What DK? What do you think was the star moment of that game? If you could clip any moment, what would you clip?
I think, in my opinion, it was the 3 kills they got 2-3 minutes in. That just set the tone for the rest of the map. They lost so many gems. Kitty Cat Crusaders, that is. They lost 2 forts with the Web Weaver push. I think that's where it just snowballed out of control for them.
Yep, and we do have Fizz and Sonny from Food for Phobias ready to interview. Let's pull them in. Hello, Sonny. Hello, Fizz. How are you doing?
How are you? Really good.
Feeling good after that win against the Kitty Cat Crusaders. A solid 2-0 victory after a little bit of a lumpy early game in game 1. You've really pulled it back in game number 2.
Thank you, yeah. I think we lost Fizz for a moment. But was the early game bad? I don't actually remember. I just remember killing things.
The early game certainly was a little bit advantageous for Kitty Cat Crusaders, but game number 2 you showed it's big and tough. You've had a lot of Greymane and Johanna. Is that something that you've been practicing a lot? Is that something you're sort of feeling confident at the moment with?
I feel like because of my TC win rate, people have been either banning or first picking it versus us, so Johanna seems like a good pick generally, and like just blowing stuff off with the Greymane's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it has indeed proven to be sort of a big, impactful, heroic sort of choice. You're sort of blowing up people really, really well. What is sort of you're obviously looking to get into the playoffs very soon. You are in the playoffs because you beat.
I think
Super
we are
Super Boys.
qualified now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we won earlier today.
Congratulations to you. Do you think you might be drawn in a group against Kitty Cat Crusaders, and would you be scared to face them again in the group stage?
I think Kitty Cat is a very good opponent for us because it's always close. Like we've obviously scrimmed them before, and all the scrims were always close, and they were fun games. So I hope we do get in there in the same group as them because it would make a great series.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good series today. You were obviously challenged, but that game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you just got control. Like, really well played to you guys. Is there any top tips you'd give to budding Tomb of the Spider Queen enthusiasts out there?
Play with vision a lot. I think that's one thing that people don't do a lot, very well on that map because there's a lot of bushes and a lot of ways to play with vision on that map. Also, don't be afraid to sneak boss at some point. I think that's
I think like if you look at this game, there was a lot of times what we do well, I think, and this is because of Fizz's shot calls, is that we take what we can get in the right moments, but we're not like greedy. We back off when it gets dangerous for us, and then we just take other things. Like we gave them turn in once, and we just did hard camp and bot easy, so it's like an easy defense.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Transparent.
No, you go, DK.
I go? Okay. Well, that is definitely something we were talking about. You almost having that level 16 talent here for the defense. It looked quite rough. The few team fights, or the team fight after where you lost Sidonian quite early on, but you did manage to turn it, and then you got the keep, and then the next fight you just won the game. It looked very, very, very good.
Yeah.
And there are a few questions coming from chat as well. I'm not sure. I'll ask this one to Sonny because Fizz will be mad at me.
No.
Can I guess what the question is?
If it's what I think
it is coming from Hat.
How long until we play Probius? Is that it?
Probius picked for Fizz when?
Can I answer this? Can I answer this actually?
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. FFF is looking for a new solo laner. My DMs are open. Please message me with your latest VOD of your last 10 Storm Leagues. That'll be all.
Make sure there's a Probius game in there.
We're also looking for a new tank.
As a legitimate question, were you ever scared that Kitty Cat Crusaders could pull out the Probius, as Spark has pulled it out in the past?
True.
To be fair, I've seen him play it before on BOE. I know he loves playing that on maps where there's a lot of bushes because he sets up his pylons and whatever the damage does in bushes. So at some point, I think I always kept it in mind that he plays Probius, but I think we're an aggressive enough team to be able to punish that.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that Fizz just admitted he keeps Probius in his mind always.
Oh my god.
It was beautiful. It is beautiful. Yeah, I mean, DK, have you got any more questions you'd like to ask our current Nexus Rumble champions? I mean, you guys have been on the top for so long.
Are you guys still enjoying the Rumble? Yes,
Yes, a lot.
Yes.
My favorite part about it is that we lost, like in the regular season, we lost to 2 teams, and we beat both of them in the Rumble. So it's nice to get a chance to restore
To
justice.
take revenge.
Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
revenge, it's justice.
Yeah, it certainly is. You guys have been having a stellar time. We're hopefully going to see you next week. We have a bit of surprise for you. But do you have any shout-outs?
It's always a surprise.
Do you have any shout-outs you'd like to give? Any sort of people you'd like to thank before we say goodbye to you?
You go first, Tony.
Shout out to Sonic for subbing for us, like fairly last minute. Worked really well. It's fun to play with him for sure.
Fantastic.
Shout out to Jack.
Casters as well.
No. Shout out to Jack, who just ditched us and just left. But yeah.
Shout out
we're
to the
looking
casters. Thank you.
We're also looking for new support. Yeah, shout out to the casters, people, like especially Transparent, putting all this together and casting every week. Shout out to DK for carrying the cast and Storm Leagues.
Thank you.
Aww,
Thank you.
that's too kind.
It has been fantastic
But
to watch
true.
you all these weeks, and we look forward to seeing you next week in the Nexus Rumble. But we do have the draw show, so yeah, we'll just say goodbye to Sonny and Fizz. Thank you so much for coming and having an interview.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You.
Thank you.
Yeah, once again, we do have the draw show coming up next week at Sunday at 20 CET. That's 8 o'clock CET, where, you know, if you're in the Rare Cup, the Epic Cup, Legendary or Mythic, you'll be drawn against your opponents in the group stages of the Heroes Lounge Season 13. And after that, we will get the Nexus Rumble, where Fifophobius will be having our little surprise we have for them. So, yeah, DK, do you have any more shout-outs you'd like to make before we say goodbye to our beautiful audience here today?
I want to give a big shout out to you, Transparents. I know you were looking for a co-caster, and very last minute as well. And I had such a blast doing this with you. Thank you very much. Shout out to both teams from today, Food for Phobias and Kitty Cat Crusaders, for putting on great shows for us.
Yep, and of course Laser Sharks and Owl Exterminators, our new Nexus Rumble champions, Owl Exterminators. And of course, thank you to everyone watching at home. It is great to see so many of you tune in. And once again, I'll just give a quick thank you to DK, you've been great, and Samu for doing that earlier cast. Yep, we've had a great time here tonight. We'll tune in next week with the Nexus Rumble and the draw show. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from DK.
Yeah, it definitely is. I'm really hyped for the draw show, Trends.
Yeah, and see everybody next week.